Good afternoon, great to have you with us this lunchtime as Pompey are looking to put what turned out to be a dampening Tuesday behind us against the then bottom side Swindon Town. Today's opponents are the team currently occupying that position. Portsmouth versus Bristol Rovers is live with us and kickoff is at 1 p.m. It's not in our hands by any stretch. All Pompey can do with their early kickoff today is win and hope that results fall kindly elsewhere in the league. Fifth place could be the position we have by this evening. There isn't scope for too much of a slip the other way. Charlton play Peterborough and Lincoln host Hull today, so some draws would be nice this afternoon as a playoff spot is of course the aim for the run-in. It was a shock return fixture back in February. Let's hope we're not in for more of the same today as Pompey host Bristol Rovers, and kickoff is less than an hour away. Well, thank you very much for being with us. We're live until it's going to be probably 3:30 this afternoon. Andrew's just getting himself. That was a slick start, wasn't it? You spin us the other way, mate. Landscape.
Yeah, I'm struggling a bit, Tom, because can you see me now?
That's much better, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit of a stream's not connecting that well, Tom. So apologies if I'm breaking up.
No, that's all right. You're okay. You're not too bad. Your connection's all right. And just before we get going, we're going to speak to Sean in about half an hour. But look at the shirt he's wearing.
John, where is he?
I don't think he's quite got you.
I'm going to have to go and get changing.
Retro, look at you, bud.
Looking good. Looking good.
Hey,
There we go.
Twins, I think we're almost twins.
I think his connection's pretty poor. Sean, we'll speak to you in just a moment or two. Andrew, just to start off with, I wanted to chat to you about a certain man called Joey Barton, who is the man in charge of Bristol Rovers today. You remember him, obviously, as he was a player in the Premier League, especially with Man City, Newcastle, and QPR. We could relegate his team this afternoon. How much does that fill you with a bit of hope today?
Yeah, Tom. I don't. To be honest, mate, I haven't got that much time for Joey Barton and his tactics, the way he played. Remember, he was at Fleetwood manager when we played them at Fratton Park, and we went to that game, didn't we? So it'll be boring, Tom. It'll stop us playing wherever he can, and I don't think they'll come. They'll come to try and nick it, mate. That's what they'll try and do. Our form isn't the best, so he's going to come with some confidence as well, which doesn't help us. But all we can do is win the game, mate, and hope that other teams drop points in it.
You're exactly right, and it's going to be a good game today. Josh is just discussing the lineup, and what they've done is they've changed it ever so slightly in the way they sort of line it up. They've got it's in number order rather than the formation, which is what they used to do. There's not an awful lot of change there, although it does look like there is a big old change. Sean Raggett is not leading the line for Pompey today, thankfully for everyone. All it is, I believe, is Charlie Daniels has been dropped for George Byers. Other than that, as far as I can see, trying to work that out, there isn't an awful lot of change there for the Pompey side. And we'll bring you the Bristol Rovers team a little bit later on. Andrew, given the fact that we haven't won, we've lost 3 of our last 4 games. Are you a little bit? Would you mind just turning the volume down on your phone as well? So I've got a bit of feedback through the old.
It's cracking quite a lot, Tom, as well.
It's what? Sorry.
Cracking a lot.
That's okay. Well, I'll only be with you for another 5 or so don't worry too much. But is it input with looking at that team lineup? There isn't any change. Given Pompey have lost 3 of the last 4 games, would you have expected maybe a couple of changes this afternoon?
Well, I don't think so, Tom. I think he's got the starting 11 in his mind, and I think it is a good outfit. There is no question. We've just been lacklustre up front, haven't we? Put the goals away when we had the chances. We had enough chances to win that game on Tuesday night, mate. We know that. We just, sometimes when your form's down, your luck's against you. Liverpool had it earlier in the season. Lots of teams have it. Tottenham were doing really well. Look at them now. There's lots of teams that drip. Look at Lincoln had a rough patch for a while. Doncaster Rovers in our league. I think we're entitled to a rough patch, Tom, especially with all the changes that have been made and the pace of the game that we're playing now. I fancy us, mate, seriously, I fancy us to win the 4 remaining games and Oxford to lose or draw one of theirs. And that is enough. That's enough for us. Or even if they draw and lose one, and we win 3 and draw 1. That's enough, you know, with the game in hand as well. We over who've got the game in hand over, Tom? Charlton,
Oxford, I believe.
Oxford, I think, yeah. So
Jake's asked, are you on your run?
No, I'm not, Jake. I'm actually sat here. Would you believe I am sat here in central Croydon? Would you believe, in my vehicle?
Spin your screen round so we can see you.
Well, this is where I am in Croydon. Yeah.
This is where he is.
Lovely sunny Croydon.
That's the weather completely mirrors what we're having down here, mate. It's a beautiful day for football, and hopefully it'll be a beautiful result for Pompey. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so, Tom. I think it's going to be a beautiful result. I think they're going to be beautiful men. It's going to happen. We're going to beat Bristol Rovers. I think Oxford will draw or lose today, and there's a fair chance that might happen. If they don't, then we still got that game in hand, haven't we? So I still fancy it, mate. And what it is left us with the next exciting finish to the season, at least, hasn't it? We're on our fingertips again, aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah, the audio's not the best from your point of view. Is your window open as well? That might be causing us a little bit of sort of.
Yeah, does that matter?
That might. It might improve things a little bit audio-wise if you've got your window shut. We won't be with you. All be pleased to know we won't be with Andrew for too long. But we'll stick with you for the time being, mate. Just finally, we mentioned quite a while ago now about the scope of the automatics, and obviously that's pretty much done and dusted now, isn't it, for Pompey? And all we can really hope for is the playoffs. And all of a sudden, we're looking at the league table and thinking we've actually got quite a challenge on our hands. How do you see the situation right now for Pompey, and how much does today make a difference to that?
Situation is, Tom, we are where we are. I don't want to repeat myself what I've just said, but I'm confident that we can get into the playoffs, and I'm confident we'll have 7 games left of exciting football ahead of us. That's the key is with all of this is we're all interested still, aren't we? We're not mid-table. We're not halfway down the table. We're just mid-table, and we're not mid-table floating around. We're actually right where we want to be in the mix, on the edge of our seats, on the fingertips, you know, and just panicking a little bit that we might not win today every day, aren't we? This is the story. So it's exciting, isn't it?
It is exciting. It is indeed, mate. Thank you very much for being with me this afternoon, and apologies that he's not here in person, but he's a busy man and he's got loads on. So there we go. Andrew, thank you for the time being. We'll be back with you perhaps at some point this afternoon if you can make it. As myself and Andrew were just discussing, we'll take a look at the league table as it stands. Speak to you later on, mate.
Okay, mate. I'll look forward to it, Tom, and play up, Pompey.
This is what we're looking at right now. Hull City are top of the league at the moment with 83 points. Those 2 automatic spaces look pretty much done and dusted, don't they? Sunderland are the team occupying the top spot in the playoffs. Lincoln City, Blackpool, Charlton are also in there too. Oxford United sit just outside. Pompey on the same amount of points with them, just 2 goals inferior. Gillingham with an opportunity to perhaps, if Pompey lose today, should they lose today, Gillingham could come and creep up behind us and equal us some points. However, their goal difference does differ completely. Okay, let me know what you're thinking of the game in the comment section down below, boys and girls. Let's take you through what's happening. Good afternoon to a traditional Signs of London. Welcome along to the stream, mate. Hope you're doing really well. Caden saying a 2-1 to Bristol Rovers. I'd be surprised, Caden, I'll be honest with you, mate. I'd be very surprised. It's Marquis's 100th game today. So there we go. Make of that what you will. Obviously, the sun is out. It is a beautiful afternoon in Pompey today. Fratton Park is gleaming in the mid-April, well, late April now, sunshine. Mid to late April. Let me know your score prediction. Hello to Jack. Welcome along to the stream, mate. Hope you're doing really well, and hope everyone else who joins us live is doing really well too. In a moment, we'll be speaking to Brendan and Mike, who will join us live in just a few moments. But before we do so, let's see what Alex is saying. He sent me a score prediction yesterday, and we'll find out how he thinks this afternoon is going to go.
Here we go! Right. To all the Portsmouth fans watching the stream, big game for you today. You are against Bristol Rovers. You're hosting Bristol today at Fratton Park, and it's massive. You haven't been in the best of form in the last couple of games, but I think Bristol Rovers, they are bottom of the league, and I think they are going to probably go down this season. So if it's a game for you to turn around, it's this one. You're getting back to winning ways today, and I think the playoffs is still on for you. You're not far off. I know you're 8th at the moment. But I do think you'll win today. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. I think it'll be close, and I think it'll be tough because Bristol Rovers are putting up a relegation fight now, but I do think you'll win this one 2-1. Best of luck, mate. To all the Portsmouth fans, play out Pompey, and hopefully Ipswich Town can get the win as well. See you later.
I'm going to correct him ever so slightly there and tell you that we could actually relegate Joey Barton and his Bristol Rovers side this afternoon. But as he said, they're putting up a relegation fight. They'll be wanting to win, but if they do lose, Pompey send them packing to League Two this afternoon. So that is some big news. Afternoon, Tom said, Anthony, like to know your guest's player of the season. Well, that is something, actually, Anthony. You've taken the words right out of my mouth. We will be discussing that at points over the next 45 minutes now or so, building up to kickoff. Hello to Layla. She said, what do you think about the Cowley contract chances later? Again, I will let you know. Well, my guests will be discussing it in just a few moments as well. Here on Fournilwrittenalloverit, the contract chances. A little birdie has told me before that despite whatever the outcome of the League One season, that Danny Cowley and his brother are perhaps here to stay into next season already. That wasn't Mike that told me that; it was someone else. So we'll see how that one goes. We'll keep an eye on it. Hello to Darren, who joins us live from Vancouver. It's 4 a.m. Dedication, mate. 2-1 win for the boys. We'll take that, won't we? We will absolutely take that. 4-0 Pompey says Mitchell Edwards. Joshua's going for a 1-0 Pompey. Thank you for that, mate. Play up Pompey from Robbie. Thank you indeed for your comment. And thank you to everyone who continues to join us live on Fournilwrittenalloverit this afternoon. I was just buzzing over my first point and Gunwolf this week. That's more pleasing than how we've been playing. Yeah, luckily for us, restrictions are being eased ever so slightly, aren't they, at the moment? So it's not just Pompey that are sort of outperforming us at the moment. Well, outperforming the fans perhaps, and the fact that we can all go down to the pub, you can get out and go around and do some shopping, go down Gunwolf, etc., at the moment. That is a little bit of respite, isn't it, from a pretty poor situation that we have found ourselves in. Situation is Charlie Daniels has been dropped. No recognised left back is something that we need to sort of think about, isn't it? And the situation is Ryan Williams perhaps could be playing at left back, and the sort of the situation in terms of formation, and we'll have to wait and see how that one goes. And perhaps it is a decision that Danny Cowley's take that will pull off, that will end up being a good one. We'll have to wait and see for that one, won't we? Fingers crossed for a win today, says Ruthie. Thank you for that. We're all hoping for the same, Ruth. Robbie's going for a 4-0 Pompey win. We'll absolutely take that. Charlton or Peterborough win today? I'd go for a Peterborough win. Pompey fans will probably be wanting a Peterborough win, just because Charlton are one of those teams that are currently keeping us out of the playoff positions right now. So, you know, there's that, and you've got to think about that. Adam has said, I think Craig McGilvery deserves a pint in Gunwolf after putting up with our defence. Sometimes, yeah, absolutely. I think that's a very good point, mate, and we'll speak to you. We'll speak to you in just a few moments. But what we will do before we get going is take a quick look at the season so far between these two sides. So you can see at the moment, 8th in League One, Pompey right now. Bristol Rovers will be relegated with a Pompey win this afternoon. Pompey have won 19 of their games. Bristol Rovers have won 10. They've lost 25 league games this season. They are yet to win away from home in 2021 in League One this season. So that's something to tell you about. And Pompey have kept twice as many clean sheets as them. Bristol Rovers concede an average of 1.56 goals a match. Pompey less, around the 1 mark. Right, seeing as Brendan and Mike aren't yet here, let's speak to Gaz, who joins us live all the way from Malta. Good afternoon to you, mate, and sorry to jump on with you so early, but you're here, so why not? Let's crack on.
Yeah.
Hope you're doing really well, mate. How's things for you?
Yeah, it's been all right. Yeah, it's been a nice, relaxing week, should we say, at work anyway. The weather's, it's nice here. You know, we don't get much rain here, so it's quite a blissful environment we live in here. So, but yeah, it's been interesting, obviously watching the Cowley in the post-match interview. So obviously he was distraught on Tuesday because obviously his reputation, even in the before he went to the job in the Championship, I don't think he'd had too many losses in a row. So obviously he took a team that was below par in the Championship, but it turned him around. So let's hope for today, because let's face it, these players are playing a slightly under par under the Cowley. Do you know what I mean? Obviously under Jacket we knew they were below par anyway, but the Cowley seemed to got them fired up again. You can carry maybe one or two players that are playing under par, but not 10. Because Max done all right in goal. Some of the goals he couldn't have, maybe could have had a chance, but I think most of the time he didn't have a chance. So we need players to be playing them, a cup final today.
Do you mind telling us a little bit about the conversation you had during the week? Is that all right?
Yeah, it went all right. Actually, I won a competition with Total AV, who are the sponsors for the back of the shirt. They're basically an antivirus company. I entered the competition to speak to some Pompey players on Zoom, and I won for some reason. Basically, I got to chat to Lee Brown, Cam Johnson, and James Bolton. So mainly it was all about defenders, and that's obviously a topic of conversation at the moment. So it was interesting. I asked Lee Brown who would win a race between him and Charlie Daniels, because Adam asked me to ask him. And Lee Brown said over 10 meters it was him, but anything else he'd probably pull a hamstring and he'd have to pull up. But no, it was interesting. Obviously Callum Johnson, it was interesting hearing him as well, how he settled into life down here. Because I was asking him what it was like, because when he was at Accrington, he was a centre midfielder, believe it or not. And then because of his size and his frame, he sort of went back into, he was suggested to go back into sort of defence, and he's enjoying the role. I asked him if he'd, fancy a shout in midfield at the moment. He said he's happy where he is. It's interesting when you look at the lineup today. Possibly he could be right midfield, because obviously we don't actually, which we're all trying to sort of scratch our heads at the moment, where we're at, with regards to the team. I mean, it looks like it could be a 3-6-4, a 3-5-2, or it could be I don't know. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are.
Well, I don't think they've helped us by listing them in sort of numerical order, have they? It's sort of
honest,
thrown everyone off.
I was eating a sandwich at the time, and I looked at the list. I saw Raggett at the bottom.
Yeah,
I nearly choked.
I think we all did, Gaz.
It was like when he stepped up for a penalty at Wembley. I didn't know what to do. I was panicking.
Yeah, exactly. For those of you asking in the comment section down below, kickoff is now 40 minutes away. 1 o'clock is the time we're going to get going this afternoon. So that team news is. I mean, it doesn't actually look like an awful lot of change, because it's only it's a like for like swap, really, isn't it? George Byers out for not like for like, but it's one in, one out, as it were. Charlie Daniels is in. Yeah. But my concern, Gaz, is I'm looking at that, and I said it before we started speaking to you, but there isn't an out-and-out left-back on the pitch there, is there?
No, it's not. And it just goes to show how far we're stretched at the moment, with regards to, injuries. And I'm not even sure Daniels is injured. So maybe Danny Kate, doesn't even fancy starting him. I mean, why not? Obviously Lee Brown, we know he's got that slight injury with his hamstring, but to not have a recognised Premiership left back, not even starting for League One Pompey, it's just like, maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's mind games or not, I don't know, but with Joey Barton's team, you're going to get physicality, because he was a bit of a ruthless player, in his time, and he's a very outspoken individual anyway. That Fleetwood team he sort of produced were just thugs, in my opinion. when we played them, it was like, how are we, still got all these players still on the pitch, but that's Joey Barton, and like you say, we can relegate him today, so that would be lovely, because I don't think he's done himself any favours and amongst fans anyway.
And he's the third manager for Bristol Rovers as well, isn't he, this season? So, Gaz, stay right there. We'll speak to Brendan and Mike and bring them into the conversation. Feel free to stick around. We'd love to have you with us. Good afternoon to all three of you. Hope you're doing really well. Brendan, I believe we have a guest with us. Would you like us to introduce?
Yeah, this is my brother who's between. You saw Niall a few weeks ago, and this is the brother between me and Niall. This is Connell, number 3. Number 3 out of 4.
Good afternoon to you, sir. Thanks for jumping on. I'll give you a big open-ended question because we haven't spoken to you before. But what have you made of Pompey's season, as it were?
A mixed bag. Obviously, we would like to be up, getting automatic promotion, and like to see our playoff hopes. Obviously, with what happened after Christmas and everything, I think a lot of fans were glad to see the back of Kenny Jackett. And me personally, I'm looking forward to, hopefully, it seems like a future with the Cowleys. So even if we don't get playoffs this season, which it rides on this game, whether or not we're going to get playoffs, I think. It's exciting. There's excitement around the club for next season, which is what I'm most looking forward to. Whether it's championship or not, looking forward to seeing a different style of play as well.
Brendan, I'm sure you agree with your brother, but the future is bright for Portsmouth at the moment.
Yeah, it is very much so. In the future as well, obviously, you see this week, even last week, we had the players from the academy being exiled, and obviously the academy manager has gone as well, Martin Kelly. Yeah, he's gone as well. We brought in the new academy chap, used to be at Barnsley, which is all positive. It's a team that's probably in a higher division than us, and probably have a better academy than us. Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to today's game. As you mentioned a moment ago, there's no recognised left back. Potentially, we're going to be playing 3 at the back. So that will be Johnson, Raggett, and Rasmus. Which Johnson's played in the 3 before. They did it earlier on the season in the. It was a Papa John's Trophy match when against Peterborough. We dropped him in and into the back 3 position. And he seems more attacking, definitely. And I want to see it. And let's see what we got going for us today, definitely.
Mike, you're I don't know if you're sort of in and about. Oh, what?
Is it backwards?
It's not. I can see it. Would you like to explain?
Yes, first one, hashtag I told you so. Well, the Cowleys are here, aren't they? They're here for next season as well. I did tell you a few weeks ago that I'm sure they've signed a contract beyond this season, and I told you so. Play up Pompey, of course, and also hashtag one not both. Now, if you reckon that Williams...
Tab to your left, Mike, there you go.
Sorry, yeah, if Williams... as you may have suggested earlier, that he may be playing as the left back today. I reckon it might be Ronan actually playing there rather than Williams. But if it's Williams is playing there and Harness is playing diagonally on the far right-hand side, then that's got to be good because I'll get my one, not both. So, yeah, I think change of formation, maybe a change of attitude as well from some of the players. The Cowleys were... well, not Cowley. So David Connolly in his write-up, because he was commentating for BBC Radio Solent the other day, he turned around and said, when the player loses a ball, they normally fight to get it back. Same person, but that didn't seem to come from Daniels. So maybe that's why he's dropped. I don't know. Needs a bit more encouragement to fight for the shirt. That's what I'd say.
Okay. Gaz, we were just talking, weren't we, about the formation setup and how Pompey were looking. Are you concerned by the fact that we haven't got, as Brendan's just been saying, a recognised left back, or is it the case that we have actually need to make some changes because we've only won we've lost 3 of our last 4 games, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean, well, we do have a recognised left back, but he's on the bench. So it just goes to show that the Cowley has decided to change the formation. And he's just, see what we can do with these bunch of players. Because like I say, we do have a recognised left back, but he's on the bench. So it's just a case of see where we go. It's a shame that he keeps playing Alfie Stanley on the bench, And obviously, it's good that he's on the bench and all that, but he's always on the bench. He doesn't seem to give him a go. And I think that where we've had these last few games, we've needed someone to come on. And I still think that he is, the guy that could literally drag us into the playoffs. It could be a great story for him. And it could be a great story for Pompey, that a young lad can get us into the playoffs. And I'm for it. I'm all for him. And I wish him luck as well.
And on Alfie Stanley and his sort of involvement in the last few games for perhaps.
Sorry, Tom, you broke up on us then, mate. Say again.
Yeah. Alfie Stanley and his involvement in the last 4 games for Pompey.
Yeah, he's just been sat on the bench, obviously gaining experience being around the first team, which is very good. But in what Cowley said in his interview, he said he doesn't want to rush Alfie into the starting lineup because as a young lad, and if he has a bad game, his confidence will be shot, which I understand and respect. But at the same time, when you need a goal, it's a different concept. But look at Wolves; they lost Raul Jimenez. They had to throw Silver in, and look, mate, sink or swim. And as I said, it can break some of his confidence, or it can kickstart the career. Michael Owen did it, didn't he? Michael Owen did it when he jumped into the first team, and Sammy Igo did it at a young age. And as we said before, Lou Nightingale did it before. Yeah. So there's no harm in it. Just give him 30 minutes. Just see what he can do.
Especially if we're not losing, or we need that penetration and we need fresh legs. Yeah, put him on. Go on, Tom. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say that if, God forbid, we end up getting a bad result today, I think you do end up starting him in the next few set of games. If it doesn't look like we're getting playoffs, might as well chuck him on and see what happens. You might stumble upon a gold nugget there. So, yeah.
Then everybody will be turning around and saying, "Why didn't we play him earlier?" Obviously.
It's a bit like, why didn't we change the managerial setup earlier, isn't it? It's always going to be... Everyone's got an A-level in hindsight, as someone I know very well said to me yesterday. Just to add as well, gents, I'll go to the boys on the right-hand side with Will's comment. He said, expecting Charlton and Lincoln to drop points today. How much are you sort of looking around at the league table and thinking quite a few teams are playing each other this afternoon?
Yeah, well, you always got one eye on them, but we need a win, don't we? We need a win full stop at the end of the day. And we need to relegate Joey Barton. I can't stand the bloke, personally. And the quicker he's out of our lives, the more happy we're going to be going forward. But as we know, they're going to be, we know how Joey Barton's teams play. They're going to be up in your face. They're going to be kicking you and winding you up. And that's why I think we should have played Daniels today, maybe, because he's got that sort of mature head on him. And he won't fall for their tricks. And hopefully he'll, because lo and behold, it happened earlier in the season with Paddy Madden for Fleetwood. He started kicking Curtis, and then it wound Curtis up a tree, and it played straight into their hands. Where I think Daniels would keep a level head on the lads.
We'll find out today whether Curtis has learned anything from that experience. He's a physical man, because he ain't got the talent on the field. He'll use brash bravado tactics to try and get his team to unsettle us and try and get the win.
Gaz, might sound like a bit of a strange question, but will both teams end the game with 11 men on the pitch perhaps today?
You'd hope so. They're all professional footballers, but they're not purposely going out there to, obviously, kick lumps out of each other. Let's just hope we just play our football. We know we've got players out there that can, compete. And obviously, recently, we've had some good performances. But there's no reason why we can't stick with 11. Just got to play nice football.
Just finally, gents, bit of housekeeping. Was that my mic went quiet, or was I cutting out internet-wise, or what was the situation?
It might have been our connection here. It might have been. That's what I think it was.
All right, because I'm on my own in the studio today, so I don't want any technical issues going into the afternoon. Gentlemen, thank you. We'll speak to you at the halftime whistle, and then again at full time. Enjoy the sunshine, and hopefully we all enjoy the game.
Definitely. See you in a bit, Tom. See you again.
This is what the bottom of the League One table looks like at the moment. As you can see, they're Bristol Rovers down there. And they could, as we've been discussing at length, be relegated this afternoon. We could have done it to Swindon Town on Tuesday, but obviously we all know how that one went. Rochdale and Northampton are what's the word? at risk of also being dropped down and playing League 2 football next season. It looks like, although they spent quite a long time of the season in the drop zone, Wigan might just make it out of that all-important Red 4 down there. Good afternoon to you, sir. Hope you're doing really well. It's a big afternoon for Pompey, and it has been for a couple of weeks, but in particular, Joey Barton's the manager of these guys, and what better way to do it than to relegate his team today?
He's not going to be happy, is he? He's a very angry man. But, you know, hopefully we can get one over them. I mean, we have been in quite a big goal drought, and one of our star players is not scoring. So I do still kind of worry for the lack of goals. I mean, I think we might be playing 3 at the back. I'm not quite sure, but it does worry me, people's expectations saying 4-0, 3-0, even 2-0, because I don't know where the goals are going to come from. They really haven't been showing. We played another bottom league side the other week, and we didn't create anything of note, really. Marquis couldn't finish his dinner, and it was just appalling. So I don't see where it's going to come from, but I have the faith, I have the hope, like a lot of people do. And hopefully he can turn a new leaf, ready for potentially playoffs soon.
You have the faith, you have the hope. Do you also have a bit of a hangover?
Potentially, not too much. Potentially, could you
no,
tell?
I was going to say it sound too bad, but there's a little bit of evidence there. Mate, just looking ahead as well, excuses are for the week is what Danny Cowley said on Thursday afternoon. How much do you resonate with that?
It's very PE teacher-like, isn't it? It really is. You know, when you come out onto the PE field, excuses, sir. So you see that kind of vibe in him, which I love. And I 100% agree with it. I think they should really be taught a whole new way. I don't know how Kenny was actually doing it over there, but he needs to drill into this new form of excuses. You need to get over them, build a bridge. I love it.
Let's speak to Retro Shirt Sean, who joins us live. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon, mate.
Well, it's another example, isn't it? I'm going to throw another Danny Cowley quote at you, as I just done with Adam. But some would say mountain to climb. Danny Cowley would say a great opportunity. How do you see it right now?
It's an opportunity. You know, imagine if it got into the playoffs and they could become legends and, you know, get us out of this league. It would be amazing. They've got nothing to lose. We broke the season off when Jacket was the manager. And now it's, you know, it's got nothing to lose. A bit of fun. Let's see how it goes. But put the effort in.
Who is our penalty taker, should we have one given to us this afternoon, Sean? What would you say?
I'd probably go Harness. Harness, I think.
I'd say maybe a Ben Close Naylor sort of character, potentially. A skipper take the penalty, he gets the final say, I think, maybe.
Better temperament, definitely.
You've just mentioned temperament there. That's going to be something we desperately need going into this afternoon, particularly for a couple of characters in our team, Sean. How much will Joey Barton be setting up to wind us up and perhaps sort of irritate the fact that we might not even relegate them this afternoon and we might see a rinse and repeat of Tuesday, worst case scenario?
You know, Joey knows the players who are our weakness and temperament wise, and, you know, Curtis straight away, you know, it doesn't take a lot to get him riled, and he'll be set up to get one of our players off the pitch. It's the way they do it. They are professional footballers, but they are also any trick that can give them an advantage. And I think Curtis is in for a hard game today. Oh, where's he gone?
He's disappeared. I'll just carry on talking. Yeah. Too scared. Yeah, no, I agree. I think Curtis has got quite a lot to show. It's really going to show his temperament. He thinks he's potentially better than our club in some ways. He'd probably want to be striving. I don't know if I think his contract might be up. Is he one of the players? But he probably sees himself as a championship player if he's starting for Ireland or getting into the Ireland squad. So this is going to be a real deal breaker for him in the coming games, because a lot of clubs will see how he reacts to his club pushing for playoffs. Where a lot of clubs.
Where would you like to see him playing today? Because you know, it's interesting, the formation.
Maybe a left attacking mid. I don't see him coming back to defend as much. If I'm honest, I do see sort of that left back position covered by Rasmus, and then potentially Curtis coming back to save him a few times. But I do see our defence obviously being a weak point, but Cowley's pushing more up front because we've got technically less options.
Yeah, like you said there, I think Curtis will struggle to get up and down that pitch. And I think if we're going to 3-5-2 and he's on the left, I think that's going to be a huge weakness for us. And if the lads are saying that Curtis is up front, he doesn't look on form. I think he's quite lazy. I think him and Marquis run in the same places anyway. And I think, if we have Williams on the left, again, it's going to be really out of sync, out of sorts, and I can't see the momentum going forward. The other option is, I was saying on the chat, it could be 4-4-2, or we could see Naylor in defence with Rasmus on the left. But again, it's just disjointed. I don't like the formation.
We'd have put Daniels in by then, wouldn't we? We'd have had Daniels if it was a 4-4-2. It doesn't seem like they must have done some clever thing that we're not noticing. That I don't know who else is playing in defence. I think it must be a 3-back in my head.
Yeah.
Sublimely handled, gentlemen. Sublimely handled. Thank you very much indeed for that. Sean, I was going to ask you, Pompey are unbeaten in their last 12 in all competitions against Bristol Rovers, and we've won 10 of those. How much do you look to history today to work out what the result's going to be?
Well, if we don't win today, I'm going to put that on you because you just brought that up. But
sorry,
we should be winning this game, confidently. But again, the worry has been for the last sort of 10 games, where are the goals going to come from? Marquis needs to score. Curtis needs to do something for the team rather than himself. And my money is on Harness. I do wonder whether, he goes up and down. And I wonder whether he'll step in today. Might see a good performance from him. And young Alfie, I'd love him to come off the bench just to give us some surprise.
You'd love him to? Do you expect him to?
Yeah, I do. I think the Cowleys are managing him, and they will put him in eventually. But I just think they're probably just they don't want all the expectation that we obviously have of him to dent his confidence. So I'm kind of hoping that they'll give him the odd 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there as we go into the next few games.
Good afternoon to Brian, who joins us all the way from Rio. Hope you're doing really well, mate. And as you just mentioned there, Sean, it is a big game for Harness today. It'd be lovely if you could stick with us, Brian, all afternoon, or I believe it would be, it'd still be afternoon. No, it'd be morning for you, won't it? All morning over in Rio. And it completely resonates with what both of you are saying. But there is more of a chance of a goalkeeper scoring than Marquis. Although it's funny, Adam, how dangerous is that fact? Because it's probably pretty true from Jake.
I think Marquis just needs to really turn things around. Otherwise, I do not see the Cowleys sticking with him, because we do not have. He was meant to be our star player. He was like team of the seasons for Doncaster a few years ago, and he's just not really lived up to that hype. And I think we just need a star striker, the Johnson Clark Harris type, the Sunderland Charlie Wyke type. It's quite sad from us that he's just not performing. It's a shame for him as well. I'm sure he'll be thinking exactly what we're thinking as well.
Yeah.
Will he be frustrated with himself, Sean?
I think so. He doesn't not want to do well. But I also think the team hasn't been playing to his strengths either. He hasn't helped the team, but they haven't been playing to his strengths. The way we were set up, the ball's coming into him. He likes them slower to his feet. That's good for the knockdowns. He's not very good at controlling it and hitting it on the first time. He's just not that sort of player, and I just think we were asking a lot of him, and we need to play to his strengths more rather than just watching it ball bounce off him every time.
Should we lose today, Adam, worst case scenario, where do we go from there? And do you write this season off at 3:00 this afternoon?
I mean, if we lost to two teams that, yes, they are fighting to stay out of relegation, but they are still teams in the bottom, very, very bottom of the table, I do think we should potentially be writing it off, because it's no point if we had playoffs, then we'd get absolutely demolished by the likes of Sunderland and others. And I feel like we'd sort of not hate the Cowleys more, but we'd have a little distaste for them if we were just like, it all built up to the playoffs and then we were just shut down like that in such a big way in a big event. I think a lot of fans are probably content with maybe not making playoffs and seeing a complete rebuild for next year. but who knows? I think it's just a must-win either way for us. A win's always a good thing.
And it is always a must-win game, isn't it? And Danny Cowley, Sean touched on the fact that we've now got 4 cup finals laid out in front of us. How important is that sort of notion of a bit of consistency heading into what is a 3-game shootout at the end of the season?
I think it's essential, but also just to reassure us, because could you imagine if we lose this team today and we lost the next 3 fixtures? How do you feel going into next season with this current squad? You know, that's the issue. No, and you'd be worrying about staying up in this league next year. So really, we want to build on some momentum, get some confidence in the squad, and yes, even if we do get to the playoff final and we lose, at least there'd be a bit of excitement, something positive going into next season rather than negative. But I do agree with Adam. I think there is a chance if we get there, we might get humiliated.
And just to you as well, Adam, I mean, it's 3 different managers for Bristol Rovers this season. Joey Barton on a sinking ship. We've discussed him at length, but we could send them down today. Are the Pompey players any more inclined to perhaps go out there and put on a performance and an absolute spanking? I know you were saying 3 or 4 is maybe a little bit sort of optimistic to look at, but does the sort of idea in the back of our minds that we could, hang on a second, I'm looking at it on iFollow and it looks like a 3-5-2. Raggett, Johnson, Nicolaisen across your back, and then it's sort of a bit of a horseshoe shaper, and then Marquis and Curtis. Forget the previous question. 3-5-2, situation moving forward, Adam, going into today, and should it work, is that the sort of the magic formation that the Cowleys have been waiting for?
I think the 3-5-2 is what I sort of expected. I'd say, I wouldn't say it's the magic formation because we are still lacking a few players that are technically crucial to us, the likes of Watmore, who might not prefer the 3-5-2, and also you'd argue that Lee Brown would also be favoured over Charlie Daniels nowadays. So I still think they've probably just come up with a way of having to make the most of our attack at the moment, I'd say. I wouldn't say it's preferred. I think they're just trying to get goals, which we've been screaming for, and it's been harder.
Thank you, Adam. Lots of water, mate, is necessary for the next couple of hours. Sean, if you wouldn't mind staying right there, we're going to bring Richard into the conversation. There we go. He's got it. He's all ready to go. Speak to you at half-time, mate. Take care.
See you later.
This is how we're looking at the moment. Previous matches, 11 that we're looking at. We're dating back all the way to what we were discussing with Sean a minute ago, with those 12 unbeaten games in all competitions versus Bristol Rovers. We can see the last time we played them would have been postponed due to the pandemic. 3-1. That was a bit of a shock result, wasn't it? I said it at the top of the show. Bristol Rovers, a bit of a battering, really. And considering that the situation we're looking at is that almost completely mirrors what happened on Tuesday night. Good afternoon to Richard. Hope you're doing really well, mate. Lovely to see you.
I know, all right. Hi, Sean.
No, you go.
Yeah, good.
Bit concerning. Sorry to gloss over the pleasantries that would. But bit concerning, Richard, that Tuesday night, 3-1. Last time we played Bristol Rovers, 3-1. Is that a concern in the back of your mind going into today?
I think it is, and what the worrying factor is as well with regards to Barton and the way he puts his teams out. They're hard. I look at them as being a hard, dirty, hard tackling type of team, and I think we could come unstuck again today. I know. Obviously, it's probably been mentioned earlier on, and it has probably been on all our other feeds that we do. But, after Tuesday's game, their heads are down, aren't they? They were in on Wednesday. Cowley said they were in on Wednesday. They've been hard at it again. They mentioned about the lack of grass time, over the last few days. But, it's worrying, I think. And we need the result. But it's like everything, we get the result, we build our hopes up, and then we go to Accrington on Tuesday, and it's that thing isn't it going to be type of what season really, or do we just sort of say, right, let's try and get something today? I think what we need that positive display, don't we, up front? It's a different formation today, something which is going to be interesting to see. hopefully we'll have the pace on the wings, to actually do, something, against them. But I was just concerned with regards how Barton will set his stall out, because you say if we win today, they go down. So, but we need something, don't we?
Yeah. Sean, in amongst all of what Rich is just saying there, I completely concur with all of it, but he did mention Accrington. Is there any significance that we play them twice in the space of the next 3 games towards the end of the season for you?
Yes, in the sense of that there's an opportunity there, and but we what we don't want to do is go there, lose, and then lose again.
Yeah.
So that's the worry. But I'm kind of hoping that we can get some momentum after today's game. I just think we're due a win. We are due long over a decent win with some serious goals, and it may be today. And I'd love it if Joey.
Yeah.
I'd love it if Joey lost it on the sidelines and got sent to the stands. That'd be brilliant.
And the thing is, even if we got a 1-0, it'd be great. We're back on winning ways. But as like Sean said, we can see it being a good win. Because there's a lot of players out of contract, isn't there? And they're on a, they're quite happy, or whoever it is that cleaned out the academy, would more likely be happy to, not renew contracts for players for next year. And it's been mentioned in the past, are we a championship side? The likelihood is no, we're not. And it would mean that if we did get up, then we'd still probably have a clear out anyway, because we haven't got the caliber of players in there to actually do the job for us. We don't want to be a Wycombe Wanderers, do we? We want to be somebody like a Luton, which are, mid-table, they're getting results, they're playing well, they beat Watford, on their, at home. And that, so it's, there's definitely a clear out, isn't there? Inbound, and by the looks of it, I'd say the Cowleys will definitely be here next year, because they've got the passion, the drive, haven't they? And every interview that he does, it's so positive, even though we're not getting the results. But, if it's hurting them, because he knows it's hurting the fans, we know full well we've got the right team in place, to take us into next season.
And we're all glued to the screen, aren't we, Sean, when Danny Cowley does an interview?
We are.
I look forward to watch out.
Yeah, and I think it's nice that we're watching them plan as well for the future. They're already talking about transfer targets. They're already talking about, we've seen the players leaving the club, and you kind of hope that there's a background there, that they're sort of slowly planning and identifying targets for next season. But what my worry is, if we do go up by some miracle, is how much is it going to cost to overhaul the squad we've got to keep us in that league? And that's no small task.
And the thing with the new academy manager, they're so looking forward to to working with them, to have the lads come through. And it's a damn shame, for the ones that have gone. But is it just that they have gone because they haven't made, because they say they've been around all the matches, and they looking at all different levels. They must see that their futures is elsewhere than with a football club, because you want somebody like your Connor Chaplin's to come through, don't you? Now look at where he is now. It's all good. He's destined to in the playoffs, to go in the Premiership. It's crazy.
The proof will be in the proof will be in the pudding as well, whether these players that have been released, whether they make it. And if they don't make it, then the decision was right. But unfortunately, like you say, it's always good looking back once they make it. Nice to the captain.
Just finally, well, we'll carry on the conversation a little bit. We probably should have asked you this at the start, but how are you and how are you feeling, seeing as you couldn't join us on Tuesday?
I'm good, actually. I think I'm finally over it. I think it's taken 3 days to get over it. Not looking forward to July when I have the second one, but both kids have had theirs as well, with them deploying on Saturday, next Saturday, and they've both been ill. So it's great. So got over a cold, had my jab, come down even worse, and then but just looking forward to next Thursday, mate. That's what it is. Brownies and coffee.
I'm absolutely elated, and it's one that's in the diary.
Just be sure to get over from Watford down from Plymouth way, isn't it? About.
Exactly. Richard, if you wouldn't mind staying right there. Sean, you are free to go, sir. Thank you for joining us. We'll speak to you at half-time. We're going to bring Alex and a Bristol Rovers fan into the conversation in just a moment. See you shortly, guys. here you go then. Pompey have scored in the last 3 home matches. Obviously haven't won a game in 4 attempts, and Bristol Rovers haven't lost to Pompey in their last 3 meetings, although we remain unbeaten at home in our last 12 in all competitions against them, winning 10 of those 12. Bristol Rovers' last league double came over Pompey back in the 1975-76 season, so even older than Andrew, and he might be a little bit intoxicated by this point because it's nearly 1 o'clock. But good afternoon, mate. How are you?
Afternoon, how are we all?
We're all good, mate. We're all good. Would you like us to introduce us to your mate?
So this is Jay, the very upset and depressed Rovers fan today. And I've actually also got a Swindon fan, James. So we don't like him much after midweek, but
no, absolutely. Does the Bristol Rovers fan think he's going to be playing League 2 football after Pompey are done with them this afternoon?
Even if we beat you lot, we'll be there. So I'm feeling a bit dejected, to be honest with you. It's over for us.
He's hoping that he can give us 3 points today to help our season get back on track, because he knows that they're going down.
There we go. And for us in particular, Alex, how do you see this one going into today? And it's a big old mountain to climb right now.
Yeah, big mountain to climb. You know, you look at it and think if we can win all of the rest of the games, then we've got a good chance and we should be there or thereabouts. But you know, we've already lost the Bristol Rovers when they were in about the same situation as they are now earlier in the season. So I'm not too confident. Have you boys worked out the formation today, or?
Well, Richard, you could probably tell us a little bit more, mate. But I reckon we've got a bit of a 3-5-2 on the go, haven't we?
Yeah, according to the BBC, it's a 3-5-2. So, which is a nice change, isn't it? You know, so and you know, we were mentioning earlier on, you know, maybe this is the formation that, you know, it could be for you know, for the Cowleys, but then again, so the 4-4-2, wasn't it? You know, we thought was the right formation, but it's just about getting goals, isn't it? You know, that's what it's all about today.
I'll give Alex a moment to compose himself. But
right, we just the mic went a bit funny there. Did you say there was 3 at the back? We think we didn't hear that.
Yeah, 3-5-2 they're playing. Yeah.
Do we know who's going to? Do we think it's Curtis or Willow that are going to be running up and down?
I would imagine Williams and Curtis and Marquis playing up top as the 2.
Yeah, but Williams on the right, Harness on the left, with Curtis and Marquis up front.
Well, I trust Willow to do more running than Curtis, so that could be a good thing.
Absolutely. What's your score prediction for this afternoon, Alex?
Let's be bold. I think 3-1.
Okay.
3-1 to Pompey.
Can we look back a little bit at Tuesday with the Swindon Town fan that you've got there, and was he surprised by what he saw from his team on seeing as they beat us in the week?
To be honest with you, didn't watch it, but massively so. I think at this point we're pretty much relegated with Rovers. So looking forward to the away day there. But yeah, 3 points to get there was a bit of a weird one, to be honest. Didn't expect that at all.
Yeah, no one really expects it against Pompey, but they always get it, which is the problem.
Yeah.
But I just think it's quite sad that 2 teams that are probably indefinitely down are going to be the ones that take 6 points off us, and hopefully not more today with Rovers at Fratton Park.
You concerned by the fact that we play Accrington twice over our last final 3, Alex? Is that anything to talk about?
Yeah, I think it'll be tough. I think it'll be definitely tough to win both, because I think, especially with these players, you know, if a team susses out how we play, they often don't struggle too much. And I think we're going to play them once, and if we beat them that once, then I feel like our team aren't really good enough to play in a different style the next game, to then go and take something different to them. It's a strange one, obviously, playing a same team twice out of the last 3 games, but it's how it is. You know, if we can go up to Aki and get some points, then fair enough. And, you know, hopefully that will solidify it in there before the end of the season, when we can hopefully beat them at Fratton. But it all rests on today, really. And I'm sure you boys have been saying, you know, if we don't pick up 3 points today, it's probably looking at League One definitely next season, and where we go from there.
Richard, is it a curtain closer for you?
What, curtain closes today if we lose? Definitely, because I think looking at the points, was it three moving the table, 3 wins and a draw, you know, to give us points, you know, was it the 74 bracket, I think it was, or wherever, you know, where we could possibly, you know, cement a playoff place. So yeah, it goes on today. So I'd imagine if we were to get the draw, would be this one of the games against Accrington, because we know we could demolish them there, or but then obviously just get the draw in the second game because they've sussed us out. But it's like every week, isn't it? There's plenty of teams around us that have got to do what they need to do. So whenever we don't, they don't. So let's hope we do and they don't. Then we can actually get something out of it.
It's tough because you look at Aki and think that's a perfect team to play twice because they've got absolutely nothing to play for. But you know, as these boys have realised as well, and Rovers, have played MK as well, and they've been beaten by them. Admittedly, they're probably, you'd hope, a worse team than us if they're going down. But MK have got absolutely nothing to play for, and they beat both of us, and it's a strange one. And I don't think Aki will roll over easily for those two games, but you've just got to hope we can win today. Otherwise, like the boys say, League One next season. Charlton have got 3 really big games out of their last 4, so they're going to have to drop some points, someone in the top 6. And if they win those 3, like we've said, or get points from them, then they deserve to be there, and they should be there ahead of us. We've had what looked like an easy 10-game run in, and we've stalled in these last 4. So 4 to go. If we can make it, then great. But if not, other teams probably deserve more.
Yeah, and I think the back three need to be dynamic, don't they? Get the tackles in, close people down very quickly. Not like from the highlights I saw with Pittman on Tuesday. And giving him the space, because giving them the space, we're going to obviously suffer from that. So,
Richard, it's always worrying Brett Pittman running rings around your defenders, but
absolutely, gents. As much as I love the sound of both your voices, I'm going to have to leave it there because the teams are swapping sides. We're almost ready to go here at Fratton Park. Thank you to the boys for joining me. Alex, enjoy your afternoon, mate. I'm sure you will. Richard, we'll speak to you in just 45 minutes' time. And thank you, gentlemen, and enjoy the sunshine.
Yes.
Cheers, boys.
Right, that is it for the time being for our guests, and thank you to all of them who've joined us live on Fournilwrittenalloverit for the first hour of the stream. I apologise for the technicality issues that we've had for the beginning of the afternoon. Right, let's just quickly talk you through, if you're just joining us, your team lineup for this afternoon. It is Craig McGilvery in goal. I can't read it very well, can I? But you can see it on your screen there. We would imagine Callum Johnson, Sean Raggett, and I'm not even going to bother, but we're almost ready to go. You can see the team lineup on your screen there. I haven't got it as it is as a formation, and I don't want to guess the way we're going to be playing out of 11 players. So I'm going to leave it for the time being. The knee has been taken, and it is Luke McCormick who is ready to take kickoff. It will be the visitors that take kickoff this afternoon, heading, I believe, towards the Milton end, and Pompey will be heading towards the Fratton end for the second half. Pompey heading towards the Fratton end in this first half in their usual foam kits. Bristol Rovers obviously in their change kit as they clash with the blue shirts of Pompey and the white on their home shirt, as well as Ronan Curtis initially wins a throw-in, this afternoon down on the touchline. A good afternoon to everyone who joins us on Fournilwrittenalloverit. I hope you're doing really well and enjoying the sunshine this afternoon. On to Williams now on this near touchline. Bristol Rovers trying to grapple a bit of possession back, and eventually they do so. Ball at the top is going to be headed towards Brandon Hallen. It's going to be a Pompey throw deep inside their own half. It's Thomas Bramall who is the referee for this afternoon's fixture. I don't recognise him too much, so I can't tell you very much about him. Rasmus Nikolaisen is going to be the man to take this initial throw-in on the near touchline for Pompey. A man who is still in the team lineup as Jack Watmore still is out at this moment in time. 1 minute has been played here at Fratton Park this afternoon. It's a wonderful afternoon on the south coast. Rasmus has got a second opportunity to take a throw in now. It's on as far as Curtis, and Marcus will look to keep it in as the ball just sort of trickles down out of play on the left hand side. Still 0-0 with just a minute played. At the Charlton from Amani Giant. Welcome to the stream, mate. Good morning to Noel, who joins us. Good morning and good afternoon. It is just afternoon here on the beautiful sunny south coast of England. Keane has said not making a prediction today, as with us, you never know. Fair play, mate. Fair play. I'll probably adopt your policy, mate, and not make a prediction as of yet. Referee's blown up for a free kick. George Byers is the man who's won it. Bristol Rovers win themselves a free kick just inside Pompey territory. It's going to be Luke McCormick, the 22-year-old, with 6 goals to his name on the ball here. just in front of the south stand as the camera vantage point is. Ronan Curtis almost gets a little bit of a deflection on that. It's in towards the penalty area. Sean Raggett's the man who rises highest. Danger still for Pompey. Ball back over the edge of the into the edge of the box. Sorry, Ben Close is the man who gets away. Referee says he was impeded there, Marquis, as he went up for the challenge on the edge of the 6-yard box for Pompey, and the ball went in. And Raggett initially dealt with it quite well out to Luke Leachy, I believe it is, 28-year-old on the left-hand side. Ben Close is in there to header away. Marquis was fouled in the box, wasn't anywhere near the ball, but he was nonetheless. Marquis now takes the touchdown and the ball up towards Bristol Rovers again in their possession. James Daly's the man on the ball. This is now Luke Lee. Header on, and it's going to hit Johnson and go out for a Bristol Rovers throw-in with 3 minutes on the clock now. I believe it was Harness who's conceded the throw-in there. Here they go again now. Throw-in is in. Bit of a push on the back of Brandon Hanlon from Sean Raggett, but Bristol Rovers retain the ball. Raggett is back there in his defensive position and heads one back to Ben Close, who takes it down and looks for George Byers. Can't do so. And it's going to be a Pompey throw-in this time on that far side. 3 minutes has been played, as I said. He's the Bristol Rovers captain, Luke Lee. They're called the Pirates. They've got half of the colours on the skull and crossbones. They're playing in a black shirt with a little bit of a hint of yellow stripes. Rasmus Nikolaisen fires one up the top of the pitch, looking for Marquis, who has looked quite sharp going forward. He goes down for a foul, and the referee, Thomas Bramwell's not going to give him anything for his troubles, as Naylor just watched that one trickle away from him. George Byers goes in for the challenge and wins the ball back brilliantly. Tom Naylor through the centre of midfield, and Marquis is just a pace or two off that one, and Bristol Rovers will go again with possession of ball up the top of the pitch, and Callum Johnson is the furthest man back for Pompey, does a little step over and eventually opts to pass the ball back to Craig McGilvery with 4 minutes on the clock now. Rasmus Nikolaisen, the man on the ball, fires one up long to Ronan Curtis now. This is George Byers on to Curtis. Down, the referee blows for a free kick. Oh, what's happened there? Why has that gone completely? Where's that gone? It's a free kick on the edge of the box for Ronan Curtis. He's absolutely livid with it. I believe it's Williams who's considered that one. George Williams, the number 43, the 28-year-old. Ola is the man standing over it, 34-year-old from Finland. He's played 21 of the 43 games for Pompey, for Bristol Rovers, sorry. For Pompey, in fact, it's going to be Curtis and Byers are standing over the edge of it. 5 minutes on the clock now. Referee Thomas Bramwell's going to blow his whistle, and hopefully this will be a decent set-piece delivery. It's all but 20 yards out. It's in a really decent position for Ronan Curtis to strike. He doesn't. He does the dummy. Byers, and his shot almost works his way all the way through. It was a decent strike, actually, but it sort of needed a little bit more power on it. It was a combination, I believe. Jack Baldwin was there to stick a left leg out, the 28-year-old. Technical, has something gone wrong again? What is happening with my stream? Someone called what happened? Did it go? Because I lost it for a moment and then it... Oh, crikey. It always happens when I'm on my own, doesn't it? Absolutely wonderful stuff. Tom Naylor, we're going to carry on like true professionals. Ronan Curtis is the man chasing it. It's going to head out for a throw-in on that far right-hand side for Pompey. Joey Barton stood with a cap on the touchline, emblazed in Bristol Rovers attire. He's very much a man on a sinking ship. It switched to the Zoom call screen for a few seconds. It's not meant to do that, is it? Not meant to do that. Look like someone's... Oh, sorry! Byers now. Is that going to be handball? Thomas Bramwell says yes, it is. Jack Baldwin is the man susceptible for that. The Bristol Rovers playing in the left back position. Andrew, it's a bit of a mixed bag, to be honest with you. I'll tell you the possession. It sort of looks like a 3-4-3, if I'm honest with you, more than anything. I'm sure we'll probably discuss more and see how much it's worked well at the halftime whistle. McGilvery, Johnson, Raggett, Nicolaisen, Harness, Close, Naylor, Williams, Byers, Marquis, Curtis. Is sort of Johnson as your, I don't know, right centre back, as it were. He's sort of swinging in from the right hand side. 7 minutes has been played now. This is Sean Raggett. 3-4-2-1 or a 4-4-1-2. There we go. I stand corrected. What it was initially looking like from a Pompey point of view, and that's probably going to be a foul on Rasmus Nicolaisen, but he will not protest it in any way, shape, or form. Rasmus, as he never does so. It's sort of Raggett, Nicolaisen, Johnson operating on the sort of the back, the sort of back three. Then it's a little bit more strange to see in midfield. Naylor still operates in his usual role. We thought he might drop back in a little bit defensively. As I say that, George Byers is working his way forward. Ben Close now, bringing things up over halfway. Rasmus Nicolaisen back to Close. Picks a pass out to Marcus Harness on the right-hand side, who's got both the sun and an oncoming ball to deal with. Does really well to control and puts the ball into the box. It's not going to trouble Bristol Rovers too much, and they manage to get it away. Only as far as Byers now on the edge of the 18-yard box on that right-hand side, nestling in the corner between the Fratton end and the North stand, and gives it away there. Byers to Bristol Rovers, who will look to come again. Midfield 4, I would say, looking at it. Harness on the right-hand side, Close and Naylor sitting as they always do in midfield, and Williams out on the left. Perhaps Curtis playing behind Marquis more than anything at the moment. Perhaps it's a formation that will work wonders. Yeah, I was going to say 4-4-1-2. We could do with an extra player right now, couldn't we? Just to bang a few more in the back of the net. Craig McGilvery under a little bit of pressure to dig out a ball up the pitch, and it's met by Alex Rodman. Sorry, he's not a roadman by any stretch. He's playing for Bristol Rovers. 34-year-old. He's scored on one occasion and assisted one as well. This is now out with Rasmus Nicolaisen, who's operating defensively as he always is, but perhaps a little bit more out on the left-hand side than he normally would. Ansi Jacola is an absolute giant of a man in the Bristol Rovers goal that the Pompey team are attacking this afternoon. He's a 34-year-old. He's only played 21 of their 44 games this season. It's a bit of a mixed bag in terms of who goes in goal, split 50-50 perhaps, or even this is a man that Joey Barton prefers as opposed to his predecessors. This is Barton's 16th game in charge of this Bristol Rovers outfit. Hello to Amy, who joins us. Only just got home, decided to pay for the game today, as every time I watch Pompey on iFollow, they have won. Hopefully, that is good news for us, Amy. You are our good luck charm, as Daniel's quite rightly said. Hopefully, that is a good omen, as traditional... Everyone's getting involved in Amy's involvement. Reminds me of Mike Bassett, England manager. He didn't know his formation either. Give him his dues. He's sort of glazed with defensive situation. Well, what am I trying to say? Injury situation, sorry, particularly up front at the moment, Danny Cowley. So give him a chance, Graham, to get his formation sorted. And with only 4 games left of the normal season, Ben Close is up there in attacking sense for Pompey, but he's conceded a goal kick for Ansi Jacola to take in the Bristol Rovers net, which is at the Fratton end for the first period this afternoon. 11 minutes is the time on the clock. It's a right-footed long ball up the top of the pitch. High energy at the moment, opening 10 minutes or so at Fratton Park. Push on Tom Naylor's back. Referee Thomas Bramwell's going to blow up for a free kick for Pompey. It's James Daly, who scored 3 goals and assisted on 3 occasions, who concedes the foul for Bristol Rovers. It was just a blatant push on the back. Could it be argued, boys and girls, a 3-4-2-1 is perhaps what we're looking at? Close, Naylor and Williams left, and then Curtis and Byers behind Marquis. Let me know your thoughts. It's a bit ambiguous for us all to work out, isn't it? 11.5 minutes now. Rasmus Nicolaisen latches onto a header backwards from Ronan Curtis, and Harness is doing his best to stop the ball going up the pitch, and Raggett will have to cover his keeper. Craig McGilvery comes and conquers with his right foot back up towards a Pompey attacking territory. Curtis is just running onto that one. Hoping it will fall kindly to him, but it doesn't do so. Marquis takes it down on his chest. First touch is decent. Second is up in the air. Bit of a almost rugby tackle down to the floor. Sorry, from Bristol Rovers. Pompey go again, and it's a poor cross again from Harness. This is made his second cross of the afternoon. First one was better than that one we've just seen. Referee's blown up for this time. It's a Bristol Rovers throw in. What am I talking about? Why can't I get my words straight today? It's a Bristol Rovers free kick. My apologies that John Marquis has conceded. Craig McGilvery. 12.5 minutes is the time on the clock, and already it's looking like a physical challenge here at Fratton Park this afternoon. Good afternoon to everyone who joins us live here on Fournilwrittenalloverit. I hope you're doing really well this afternoon. If you could leave the stream a like and drop us a subscribe as well if you're new. This is one of the final normal Saturday fixtures of the season. Next weekend, we make the trip to the new Plough Lane Stadium in London, South London, that is, to play AFC Wimbledon. Tuesday night, we'll see us make the long trip up to Lancashire to play Accrington Stanley, which is one of two almost back-to-back fixtures against Aki in the final stages of this season. Lino on this near side's flagged for a Pompey throw-in. Ryan Williams is the man taking it. And as Mike said earlier on in the stream when he joined us to share his pre-match thoughts, Ryan Williams and Marcus Harness pretty much operating at different ends of the pitch this afternoon. So one, not the other. The hashtag that we won't quite get trending on Twitter, but it's a hashtag nonetheless. George Williams is the man taking the throw-in on the touchline here, shaded by the South Stand, the 28-year-old. He's won 63 of the duels that he's attempted to win so far this season for Bristol Rovers. A stalwart in defence for them this season, George Williams. Managers have changed, but he hasn't, and the referee's going to blow up for a foul committed by, I believe it was the number 15 for Pompey, Rasmus Nikolaisen, who isn't shy to a challenge. James Daly, who is attacking from the left-hand side. He's on the right-hand side at the moment. It was sort of a sly one from Nikolaisen, who perhaps cynically thought he could get away with it. He's going to get a conversation from Thomas Bramall and perhaps a talking to before play continues. It won't be any more than that with just 15 minutes on the clock now. Rasmus seems to sort of nod in agreement with what the referee's seeing and goes back to retake his defensive position. Craig McGilvery is going to have... It's the first opportunity where he'll have something to do this afternoon. There's not been too much from an attacking sense on the Pompey goal so far from Bristol Rovers. It's Zane Westbrook, the Rovers number 8, 24-year-old who's scored 2 goals, but crucially assisted on 6 occasions for the Pirates so far this season. It is now going to tick over into 15 minutes. This is now a set piece at either end in an attacking sense from both sides. It's an interesting setup here from Bristol Rovers, who have kind of not taken the free kick, really. They've just sort of carried on in their possession, and it's a ball over the top that Rasmus read well. Back in by Bristol Rovers. On the spin, it's a strike from James Daly that careers off the back of a Pompey shirt, and Marcus Harness will take possession out to the right-hand side. Naylor operating in a defensive situation there, and does a give and go with Callum Johnson and eventually tries to find George Byers, who misses the header completely. And Marquis will have to work hard to try and win the ball back off of the approaching George Williams. Now Pompey have possession. Marcus Harness up the top of the pitch, and he's found absolutely no one. And that will just bounce 2 or 3 times comfortably towards the feet of the Bristol Rovers goalkeeper, Anis Jakola from Finland. 15 and a half minutes on the clock. And Bristol Rovers have it on the right-hand side, back in field. And it's a long, pacey ball up the top of the pitch, which is almost, you would have thought, if Alex Rodman had got going and geared up to try and win that off Ryan Williams, he would have got there. Perhaps it was just the pace of the Australian that won out there, and it will be a Rovers throw-in nonetheless on this right-hand side in an attacking situation. Nestling in that corner between the Milton end and the South Stand. The lino is there with him. Ben Close is the nearest man to the ball. Bristol Rovers have got to show themselves here in order for play to continue. There's an awful lot of attacking options for him. Williams loses his man. Ball goes into the box, and Rasmus Nikolaisen kicks away to Ronan Curtis, whose first touch is wayward, and he goes in for the challenge there, Curtis. Pablo Martinez was the man ready for it. He's only played 7 of the 44 fixtures that Bristol Rovers have had this season so far. And this is now Williams. 28-year-old's got the ball over his head, ready to take the throw in. Approaching 17 minutes now. George Byers is that, sorry, Ronan Curtis is the man looking to win the ball back. And it's a ball over, and Sean Raggett rises for the header, doesn't quite get the connection he wanted. He probably got more connection with the Bristol Rovers centre forward, Brandon Hanlon, the 23-year-old who's netted on 73 occasions. We're just seeing a replay of that now. He absolutely bodied Raggett out of the situation, and Sean Raggett, bless him, didn't really know where he was for a minute or two there. But nonetheless, play will continue with a Bristol Rovers corner, on this near side. Nestling, as I said, in the corner. Play hasn't really got out of that sort of situation there between the south stand and the Milton end. He's being shadowed by the mid-afternoon sun here at Fratton. It's a beautiful sunny day on the south coast. Corner taken quickly down to Luke McCormick. He's managed to beat Ben Close and get his ball across. It's a flashing ball, and it'll be out to her, and it's a strike from the edge of the box from Luke Lee. It's going to be battered against the back of, I believe it was John Marquis, and it will go out for a Bristol Rovers throw-in again on this near touchline of the south stand. Decent effort and decent bit of play there from Bristol Rovers. You can tell that's a Joey Barton on the training ground as Luke McCormick flashed one across the edge of the box, and it fell to Luke Lee on the edge of the box. As I said, on the edge of the box twice there. Sorry, bit of repetition for you all. Hope you enjoyed that. Jack Baldwin's the man on the ball now. Finds his colleague on the left-hand side, and Marcus Harness will look to win that one off him, but Lionel is going to flag for a Bristol Rovers throw-in. All the Pompey players have to sort of squint in their approach to this afternoon. It's an awful lot of awful lot of sunshine for them to have to deal with. You would have thought Craig McGilvery will be the man. Will be the man that probably needs a sort of a hat of some sort in order to in order to prevent the sun from getting in his eyes too much. And as it blazes down on Fratton Park this afternoon in beautiful sunny Southsea, Marcus Harness receives the ball after a long ball up the pitch from Big Mac, and that one's going to go out for a Pompey throw-in. They've had 60% of the ball in this opening 20 minutes here, Portsmouth. Bristol Rovers confined to only just less than 40%. Marquis tries to win the ball back and frustratingly allows Bristol Rovers to capitalise on that possession, and Luke McCormick will try and find, I believe that's Hanlon, who's come back from his attacking position, and play continues to move forward until Tom Naylor wins it back for Pompey. And every sort of second bite of the cherry Pompey get is sort of back at them in terms of a niggly free kick that Bristol Rovers just yapping away at the Pompey midfield and defence, trying to doggedly win the ball back. But it's not quite working for them at the moment, as Pompey managing to batten down the hatches in that sense. And to be fair, Pompey are doing the same, as they attempting to win the ball back and endeavouring to keep a little bit of possession. Hasn't been a sort of one-sided affair at Fratton Park so far this afternoon. Possession either way, Pompey on top at this moment in time statistically. Chances wise as well, neutral will probably say that Pompey have had the better of it. Callum Johnson throws the ball into Marcus Harness again. Hopefully over the summer, Callum Johnson or the Pompey staff, Kev the Kitman, can invest in a slightly bigger shirt for him, because it is way too small for him, as we said on many an occasion. Ben Close with a pinpoint ball over to Marcus Harness, which worked out 100% perfectly. George Byers is infield, back to Close now. 1-2 with Curtis, receives it back to him. It's a lovely pick out from Close. He just had too much on it, for Ryan Williams to run onto. Puts his hand up in apology there, Ben Close. He sort of explaining to Ryan Williams what he was trying to do, and it's that hand signal that's being made by the Pompey youth product over deep into the opening 20 minutes now here at Fratton Park. Beautiful, gorgeous, sunny Fratton Park. It's hot out there as well, with a light breeze on the south coast this afternoon. Not as hot as it will be in the coming months, but warm nonetheless. Definitely. You choose whether you've got your aircon or your window down. That sort of weather in the sunny south coast of England this afternoon, as Pompey are looking to get things going in an attacking sense. It's a push on Ronan Curtis in the penalty area. He's nowhere near the ball. Referee's not going to blow up on that one. It's going to be a throw-in nonetheless, though, on the near touchline for Pompey in an attacking position. 3/4 of the way down the pitch towards the Fratton end, as Pompey playing from right to left, as they unusually are, normally left to right and then right to left in the second half. See, they're Paul Downing and I believe that's James Bolton warming up on this near touchline alongside Charlie Daniels. Be interested to see if any of them get a slice of the pie in terms of being on the pitch this afternoon. Thought that one might have trickled out of play there from Tom Naylor, but it's continued nonetheless. And Pompey working their way up through the right-hand side now with Marcus Harness, who's touches a little bit heavy and allows Zane Westbrook to get in on the act and provide the catalyst for a Pompey throw-in on that far touchline, in the north stand. And Pompey get things going quickly through. George Byers looks for Harness, gets it back off him. Johnson's got to work hard to get over to that one rather quickly, and Pompey have no option but to go backwards in a sort of defensive point of view. Raggett will look to get things going again with a forward pass to Callum Johnson, trying to slide through the heartlands of the Bristol Rovers defence to find Ben Close, who opts to go back to Rasmus Nikolaisen. He's the furthest man out on the left-hand side at the moment. Pinpoints the ball over the top. It's a brilliant ball to Curtis, who was slightly out of shot there. Onto his right foot, lays it off, puts a beautiful ball in, and Naylor had to rise highest. Really well done from Harness, who wins the ball back, and it's a ball over the top. And again, that was close. That's the second time that he's put a ball over, and it's just absolutely missed everyone. Good afternoon to Rebecca. Welcome along to the stream. Hello to David, who joins us from the Cotswolds. What a beautiful part of the world, especially in this sunshine, David. Hope you're having a lovely afternoon supporting the Pompey boys. We're keeping you covered across all things Pompey this afternoon. Great of you to all join us here live on Fournilwrittenalloverit. 23 minutes has been played here at Fratton Park. Be great if you could drop a like on the stream, and subscribe if you're new to this sort of thing. We're here all season, then we've got some big plans over the summer. If I say the 3 words 4 minutes with, that might resonate with a couple of people. Hello to Indochina James, who enjoys us all the way from Bangkok in Thailand. I wonder if it's just as beautiful weather here as it is in Thailand this afternoon. Indochina, let us know, mate. It's a ball over the top that Jack Ola needed to deal with there in the Bristol Rovers goal. He came well out and could have been stuck in no man's land. Unfortunately, Marcus didn't have an awful lot to say to him as he won the header out to his defensive pairing there. And here come Bristol Rovers again, working their way out from the back. And it's Alfie Kilgore, who's played one back to his colleague Jack Baldwin, looking to get things going down the left-hand side. Ben Close is quite close to Zane Westbrook, but then again, Bristol Rovers will get things going. Ball through the middle that Callum Johnson eventually latches onto and finds Craig McGilvery in the goal mouth. Pompey just hurriedly in their attack managed to give it away, but here we go for Ronan Curtis. It's a brilliant ball. Is he going to be caught by the offside flag there, John Marquis? Yes, he will do. He went way too early there. The man on his 100th appearance for Pompey this afternoon. We'll look to see if the ball was early, and he was. He was miles off there, Marquis. Oh, sorry, we're just watching. He was miles off. We're not watching a replay, but he was miles off. DKD lives in Qatar. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us, mate. Lovely to have you with us. Hope you're doing really well. Will you be joining Andrew from his car again today? Jake, I believe he is on the move now, so he won't be joining us. Perhaps he might be able to later on in the afternoon, maybe at the full-time whistle. I will have to let you know on that one. 25 minutes is on the clock now. George Williams with a throw-in on the near touchline here at Pompey, the south stand, and they've managed to wiggle their way through here. Bristol Rovers, then it's a strike from Alex Rodman. 24-year-old gets one away, and Craig McGilvery needed to really open himself up and just make sure that one went behind. Probably one of the best chances of the game. It's from a tight angle there, Williams, and he sort of poked the ball through to his colleague Alex Rodman, who absolutely went past Raggett like he wasn't even there. Callum Johnson, I think he was shouting at Raggett and asking him how he managed to get past him so easily. Wasn't too far off the post there from Bristol Rovers, and they'll get a corner for their troubles here. 26 minutes is on the clock. It's going to be a right-footed swinging in ball, and McGilvery is going to have no problem whatsoever to come and claim that one, and he'll look to get things going again quickly. Ben Close now on the Pompey counter-attack. Bodies flying forward now. Curtis on the left-hand side finds a beautiful 1-2 with George Byers. Curtis shoots and scores. Of course he does. That was superb from Pompey. Taken the lead after 26 minutes on the clock. Hold the front page, hold the back page. Pompey are a goal up, and it's come through that man, Ronan Curtis. Beautiful 1-2 touch football from George Byers, who went left, poked one back with his right heel to Curtis, who dispatched with elegance. Awesome football. And Pompey are a goal up. And at this point, I would normally go to Andrew for a comment, but I can't, so I'm going to keep talking about it. It just Curtis, a shot from, it was close range, probably what, 10, 15 yards out. It's a dance that's shared by George Byers and Ronan Curtis, and a sigh of relief perhaps for Danny Cowley and his brother, although we are only approaching the 27th minute in this one. Nerves are calmed around PO4, and all of a sudden it looks like Pompey could be on to something that could have a couple of numbers on it this afternoon. Curtis's goal drought ends, Pompey's goal drought ends, and we go in to half an hour, a goal up. There we go. We don't need Andrew. Pompey are going to win, absolutely. And breathe, everybody, and breathe. Could this one have 4-0 written all over it from Will? We will have to wait and see, mate. I'll be absolutely elated if that is the case. With 50 minutes left to go in the first half, I would assume the message will be, let's go into the break positively. Let's get a couple on the board in this first period, and then we can sort of not relax, but we can look. And normally I'd be updating the title of the video whilst Andrew's talking, but I can't, and I struggle to multitask, so I apologise if I seem a little bit distant from you. But there we go. Times have changed. The winds have changed. They're light and breezy on the south coast, but they are noticeable on the pitch for Pompey. It's looked half decent performance-wise. Goal to go with it for Ronan Curtis on the score sheet. I think the credit has to go to Byers, as Tomo Pot has quite rightly said. He's back in the starting 11, proved his point. You know, it was a wonderful flick on. Beautiful to see. Wonderful. I have a message from Good Morning Andrew, who said, never in doubt, Tomo, play up Pompey. So there we go. Good stuff. And hopefully he'll be joining us shortly. Thank you, Abby. That does mean a lot to me. So I'm having to hold the fort on my own, which is something I haven't done for several months. But I think we're doing all right so far. Rasmus Nikolaisen on the near touchline is taking a throw, and it's in a decent position here for Pompey. And he opts to find Curtis, who's the nearest to him. Ball over the top towards Ryan Williams. He's just a couple of paces away from it, and Ben Close will look to retain possession. Brandon Hanlon nicks it off him. Tom Naylor's going to have something to say about that. But it's going to be a free kick for Bristol Rovers. Thomas Bramwell's just making sure that the Pirates know where that one's going to be taken from. He does not miss chest day, Thomas Bramwell, the man in the middle for this afternoon. He's got a serious set of shoulders on him. Good afternoon from Scotland. Hello to Stevie. Welcome along, mate. Hope you're doing really well. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate that. Thank you as well. Everyone's loving the commentary. That's good to see. Joshua saying a 3-2 Pompey win now. The game is on. The playoffs are on. Am I getting ahead of myself? Potentially, but it doesn't matter. Pompey are a goal up. Let me have a little bit of time to sort of relax and enjoy the football that we're seeing. And for the time being, it's been a decent opening half an hour from a Pompey point of view. Could be another one here. Ronan Curtis is the man on the ball. It's a similar situation to what he had. Could he make it two? Opts to find Marquis, and Ben Close was close to that one. He just snatched away at the very last moment. Rasmus Nikolaisen puts a pivotal foot in there, wins the ball back sublimely there from... That was excellent. And Pompey with the opportunity to go again, and they'll win a throw-in for their troubles. Danny Cowley protests that Curtis probably deserves a free kick there. 7-0 Pompey win. Crikey, Fred. I thought I was getting ahead of myself, mate. There we go. Marty says, come on, the Blues, play up Pompey. Jody said Pompey need to win their last games to have a chance of going up, absolutely. And then obviously win every single game in the playoffs, Jody. It's been done before. Could it be done again? No, we haven't done it before. We never won a playoff game, but it's been done before by others. Could we do it again? I know. I saw that as well. I thought of you, mate, when I saw it. Mr. Poirier, he actually gave it to Marquis in the box. So there we go. We've discussed the Super League at length, Sully, on Tuesday. Very happy that it's all been sort of not glossed over, but absolutely, completely and utterly rejected by every single man in football. Says it all, doesn't it? I don't need to say anything more than that. Man and woman in football, sorry. 32 minutes has been played now at Fratton Park. Curtis, header on looking for Byers. Those two look incredibly similar. And from a commentary point of view, it's an absolute nightmare to work out which one's which. Pompey want to take the throw in quickly. Thomas Bramwell's not going to have anything of it. And he's going to be having a conversation with James Daly about that, I believe. Free kick from Pompey, sort of 35, 45 perhaps yards out. One game at a time. Yes, Meadsy, you're absolutely right, mate. One game at a time. But let's have a little bit of positivity, shall we? Mike has said, playoffs are gone. Swindon game confirmed that. Mike, mate, what's happening there? I'm feeling the negativity. The comment above that was a Curtis hat trick from Martin, which I'm absolutely gonna confer with. He could have had a second just a couple of moments ago there. Ronan Curtis, will he make it 3? I have to wait and see. Will Pompey make it 4? Still a long time to play. I know that, but you can look at that. You're either a positive person or a negative person, as a man once said. And wow, diving header from Rasmus Nikolaisen. It's inches wide of Anis Jakola's post. It's not gone, it's ours. Play at Pompey, keep the faith. From Good Morning Andrew's just come through on my phone. He's the man you want to listen to, boys and girls. Ben Close put the ball in. Rasmus rose highest, and that was literally inches away, boys and girls. Literally inches away. So that could have been a 3rd. I know that's being slightly positive than normal. I know he has it. Are you okay to wait until half-time, sir, or are you got to go? Got to go. Right, let's speak to you very quickly then. Aaron joins us. How are you, mates? Thank you so much for sparing us a bit of time. Pompey are a goal up.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm on. I thought, oh, blimey, what's going on? I thought, I've had such a hectic day at the moment. It's just like I couldn't stop. I had to quickly come on and say, hi, everyone. I'm like really busy and everything, but like hopefully 3 points, up the Blues. Come on, let's do this. Anyway, I've got to go. I'll see you all soon. See you Tuesday.
See you, mate. Thanks for jumping on. That was Aaron, who, if you don't know, he's been incredibly busy. He's got a new contract protecting the wonderful people of this country against the fight against COVID-19. So, Aaron, you are a legend, mate. Thank you for sparing us a bit of time in your incredibly busy schedule. And thank you for protecting the public, as you always do as a fantastic public servant. Good afternoon to Shering Lammer, who joins us all the way from Nepal. Welcome, mate. Hope you're doing really well. You've joined us at a great time. We're 10 minutes from the halftime whistle. There is only one Aaron. If he's still here, he'll see all the comments coming in. So there you go. Yes, mate. I saw the protests and they were absolutely necessary. And they provided the catalyst for us to get rid of all this rubbish. So fantastic from every football fan for mucking in, getting the job done. And hopefully nothing like that ever happens again. And we can put things in place in order to make sure that nothing like it ever happens again. Joey Barton's rather sportingly waiting for Rasmus Nikolaisen to give him the ball. It's going to be a free kick for Pompey on this near touchline. Ball's back underway. Rasmus Nikolaisen now is going to receive it back off Sean Raggett after previously giving it to him just a moment or two ago. Rasmus dodges the incoming challenge from James Daly, who's operating in an attacking sense this afternoon. Buenos dias from Nick, who joins us from a rainy Estepona, Spain. Nick, our weather is better than yours, mate. That's what we like to see. Today so far has been positive. Hopefully we're looking all right going forward, Nick, and things have been sprightly, sparky, and quality, really, to be honest. And it's something that Pompey have lacked for weeks, but it's looking so much better. Could be 2 or 3 from my point of view. What did I miss there? I missed one from Dean, who joins us in lockdown from Australia. Perth player at Pompey. Dean, I know you're in lockdown, mate, and we all know how difficult that's been. So hopefully your mighty Blues are keeping you going this afternoon, and the stream's keeping you going. Hope you do really well. And thank you for joining us live here on Fournilwrittenalloverit. And thank you to everyone else who joins us live here on the show. Hope you're doing really well. If you could drop the stream a like, that would be much appreciated. There's almost 230 of you joining us and only 73 likes on the stream. So head down there, drop us a like on the stream if you're enjoying yourselves. And actually, there's more than that. I looked at the wrong number. Almost 250 of you joining us live. So that is superb. And thank you for your fantastic support as always. We're keeping you live and covered across all things Pompey this afternoon on Fournilwrittenalloverit. Live until just after 3 o'clock this afternoon, as Rasmus Nikolaisen has done really well to defend that one. But it is going to go out for a Bristol Rovers goal kit. A Bristol Rovers corner. My apologies. There we go. Automatically, we're up to 87. Boys and girls, you are superb people. Thank you very much indeed. And I hope you are enjoying your weekend with us here on Fournilwrittenalloverit. It was my brother, Alexander the Negative, who mentioned to me in the toilets of Mansfield Toby Carvery about 6 or 7 years ago that Andrew always says the game's got Fournilwrittenalloverit, so why not name your YouTube channel after it? And that name has stuck ever since. Corner's been taken by Bristol Rovers. Another routine that they've put together, perhaps on the training ground. It's a shot from distance from Luke McCormick. I don't know if it was a shot or a cross, but either way, couldn't get on the end of it. And I think it was Alex Rodman who was the nearest to it. And I believe it was a cross, actually, looking for Rodman, and it just had too much on it. He stuck a boot out. He stuck his right boot out, and just couldn't get anywhere near it. So nothing to really write home about. It's sort of a half chance for them, but nothing from a Pompey point of view to be concerned about. Williams, brilliant ball through to George Byers. He's playing with an awful lot of confidence, oozing with it, and Harness does really well to work his way back. Been really, really positive from Harness on the right-hand side so far this afternoon. Raggett's had a good game. Never thought I'd be saying that. Well, we've said that a couple of times, but we don't say it very often, so we're gonna cling on and relish it while we've got it here. And this is Callum Johnson now, who's found a ball out to Harness, who's dropped a little deeper to play the ball back to Close. That's a horrible challenge. Referee's going to say play on. Could be oh my God, again. Closey, sort your ball out, mate. What is going on? That's the third time now that Ben Close has put a ball over the top. He's our boy, Ben Close. I've spoken to him on many an occasion, and I actually did an interview with him. But what is going on with your ball this afternoon, son? Anyway, James Joyce was busy brushing his teeth. I can confirm that our man, Ronan Curtis, it would only be Curtis, wouldn't it? When Pompey need a goal, they always find one. And Danny Cowley's got a smile on his face, and as he rightly should do, he should be proud and privileged to be the Pompey manager after his team's first half performance so far. It's been superb from the boys in blue today. And hopefully this can be a rinse and repeat performance for the second period. Byers has actually taken a bit of a knock there. The challenge was poor, actually. Mirrored what the man in the dugout for Bristol Rovers did all his career, cynically and unnecessarily, from Jack Baldwin, the 27-year-old, who has well and truly been Bartonified this afternoon. But there we go. We haven't got to worry about them because we're beating them. At the moment, they are relegated to League Two. So there we go. Who's smiling? Harness to Johnson. Hopefully I won't be eating my words. Come on, Pompey. This is Raggett now, under a little bit of pressure, and that ball could have gone absolutely anywhere, and it's going to be a one headed back across the field. Brandon Hanlon is the man who's got it at his feet now for Bristol Rovers. They're having to go backwards in a defensive sense. Pompey tighter than so it's tight. That can be said live on YouTube as well. Someone sat next to me would have said something stupid there, wouldn't they? But there we go. Tighter than a knot, shall we say, at the moment defensively from our point of view. 40 minutes has ticked over on the clock now for Pompey. Ben Close is the man who's dispatched Marcus Harness. He receives it straight back to him. Close does a little spin and manages to play one out to Callum Johnson, who fires one forward to Byers, who has been the man in the centre making things happen, pulling the strings, and Harness's ball is slightly wayward. Williams loses his footing slightly at just the wrong moment, actually, there, and Bristol Rovers will have a tad of possession there. Referee's going to shake his head. Thomas Bramall was being protested at for a free kick for Brandon Hanlon, and he's not going to receive it. Really dodgy challenge went in there. Crikey, I'm surprised he didn't blow up for that one. James Daly got absolutely nowhere near the ball. They are flying in ridiculously. Ridiculous. I don't know why they're flying in like this. It's unbelievable. What is going on? Anyway, Rasmus, I know what's going on. They're under the management of Joey Barson. That's why. Byers is going to dispatch Harness on the right-hand side, who's been showing everyone what he's made of. Marcus Harness, arguably one of my players of the season. I know not many people would agree with me because he has not been at the races in terms of goal scoring, but his general overall performance has been superb. we'll discuss contenders for Player of the Season later on this afternoon. It's also a topic of conversation that I'd actually quite like to discuss before we get going for our final game of the season on Sunday, the 9th of May. We'll be doing a bit of an awards ceremony before the game, which is going to be exciting to bring you. 41 and a half, well, nearly 42 now on the clock. Pompey. Oh, my word, that is really dodgy from Sean Raggett. Luckily, McGilvery's not going to be too worried about that one. I think the referee actually blew up for a foul on Raggett there because everything seems to have stopped. And, yeah, I believe it was. It might have been on Rasmus Nikolaisen, actually. Hello to Charlie. Welcome along to the stream, mate. Hope you're doing really well. Thanks for joining us live this afternoon. Exactly. Phil is not a fan of Bristol Rovers. Perhaps he's not a fan of Joey Barton. And as it stands, they are relegated to League Two. 42 and a half minutes has been played now, and it's a ball over the top that isn't going to work out from a Bristol Rovers point of view. Pompey with the option now to go again from an attacking sense. Rasmus Nikolaisen is the man on this near touchline. He's been taking the majority of the throw-ins from the south stand this afternoon. Getting towards the half-time whistle, which means I can have a drink in a moment or two. Rasmus Nikolaisen's found Sean Raggett. It's a cross-ball pass that's worked out really well. Harner seeing an awful lot of sun on his face. Hopefully he's wearing a bit of factor 15. Marquis gets their second, and the referee's going to blow up for a free kick on Bristol Rovers, just as Pompey were looking to get going attacking-wise. And he's going to blow up, and it's Jack Baldwin who's won the free kick, and you can't really argue with what Marquis has done there. And perhaps he didn't mean to do anything wrong, but he did. An illegal challenge on Baldwin means that Bristol Rovers can get going again. Callum Johnson headers out to the left-hand side, and that will be a throw-in for the Pirates on that far side. I hope you're doing really well this afternoon, and thank you once again for being with us. Luke Lee's going to have to jump over the hoardings there. It's a screw fix advertisement that the Pirates captain, see what I did there, is going to have to jump over. He's going to cleanse the ball. For some reason, he's sat on the hoardings now, and I think it's going to be a run-up from the captain. Ball goes in. Not the definition of a long throw. As Sean Raggett rises the highest. Challenge goes in from Marquis, and again, referee's going to blow up for that one. And he knows what he's doing there, the experienced Pompey attacker. He plays his 100th game for Pompey this afternoon. John Marquis, 100th appearance, for the Blues. If anything, that's more of a slide in from Luke McCormick, the 22-year-old for Bristol Rovers there. So I'm... probably a 50-50, and I would have probably let play continue there if I was Thomas Bramwell, but he didn't see it that way. Nonetheless, it's probably 45-50 yards out from Bristol Rovers' point of view, so this isn't going to be an opportunity to shoot necessarily. Perhaps it will be another opportunity, another example perhaps of their of one of their little sort of worked free kicks that they've done. It isn't going to be. It's going to be a route one ball in to the edge of the box. It's going to be a deep one back across goal. Curtis is there to meet it. It's going to be a trickle out to the left-hand side, back to the man who initially took the ball in, and that's going to be flashed across the face of goal, and bodies flew everywhere there. Ball back in from Alex Rodman, who's, if anything's looked like the brightest spark from an attacking sense for the Rovers for the visiting side this afternoon. Raggett wins the header onto Curtis. Offside flag's been raised by the lino on this near touchline, and it will be a single additional minute added on at the end of this first half, which is, to be expected because there hasn't been an awful lot stoppages, which is good because it means that I can have a bit of a rest for a moment or two, and we can speak to our guests. I shouldn't call them guests; they're not really guests, are they? You see them game in, game out, and they have been stalwarts of the Fournilwrittenalloverit family this afternoon. Unfortunately, Aaron won't be able to join us, but we did get a brief appearance from him just a couple of moments ago, and many thanks. If he might not be listening, but if he is, thank you for making the time for us again, mate, and jumping on as you did. Just 20 seconds of the additional minute is left now. I don't think there's going to be an awful lot of time left for Pompey. Rasmus Nikolaisen is trotting over to take the throw-in, and I believe the half-time whistle has gone at Fratton Park this afternoon. I believe the referee will probably blow it in just a moment. Yes, he has done, and I can confirm at half-time, a beautiful, sunny Fratton Park. First 45 on Fournilwrittenalloverit. Pompey leading Bristol Rovers by a goal to nil. Good afternoon to you, sir. Once again, welcome. Hope you're doing all right. What did you make of that first period? Much better.
Oh, it is, and what's nice is nice to see the five in midfield, and we can actually splay the ball out, left and right, and we've got that attacking sort of pace about us now, and it's looking really good. I think if there was only one negative I would have in the game is Rasmussen a bit hesitant when he's got the ball, where he's going to pass the ball. I say early on in the game it was back and forth to Rasmussen, and it's just like, oh, I'm a bit unsure what I'm going to be doing. But I think they've settled down nicely, haven't they? And a fantastic. Well, that was a Curtis goal, isn't it? Open the body up, just curl it straight in. And it just goes to show, I think he plays best on the left-hand side where he can cut in and just sweep that right boot of his. And, I'm surprised they didn't close him down quicker than what, before the ball was launched from his boot. But no, very good so far.
I'm going to leave you both for a moment. I'm just going to go and get a glass of water because my throat is killing me. But Gaz, what did you make of that first period, mate? And all positive stuff from Pompey.
Yeah, definitely. I think Curtis has been in the headmaster's office, I think, because obviously the former PE teacher has had a word of Curtis, and he seems to be playing as a team player today. He's not being as selfish as what he's been in the past, and he's actually putting in a performance. And he's actually he's playing in a sort of position where we know we've seen it before, and he can play in that position very well. Byers, he's playing some lovely football in that middle. He's actually done some really nice ball positioning on the ball and off the ball as well. So that lovely little flick that he did to Curtis, and we know that Curtis, can shoot. So that was good for me. Close, I thought Close, unfortunately, was a little bit wayward with passes in that first half. But like I said before the stream, you can have one person not on the ball, but not all 10. But yeah, we're definitely up for this today, aren't we?
Yeah, there's still definitely a threat, aren't there? You can see, near the end of the first half, right on the goal line, so they've still got that threat about them. But it's a Barton team, isn't it? Hard tackling, But what's nice is that we have 1 minute of added time for the first half. The referee's allowing the game to flow, isn't he? Seen a lot at all this season.
Yeah, and to get that goal as well, literally, 27 minutes halfway through. So. And obviously to not concede before half time as well, because that would have been a sucker punch. To go in at 1-0 is a lot more confident. You go in 1-1, it's like, oh, you've just wasted 45 minutes, So, but obviously, Brendan's on next. So, what do you think, then, Brendan?
Oh, I think we played very well actually. As you said, I think Close has had a few wayward passes. He's taken it off a Naylor. I think he's doing passing practice during the week with Naylor. But I think the three at the backs work really well. I think Nicolaison's come in really well playing. I think Nicolaisen plays better in a 3 than he does in a 2. Johnson solid, and Raggett's not done any calamitous errors yet. Curtis, my boy's on fire. He's doing well, I must say. As we said, he has one good game in 8. But I bet he's done really well. And that little flick from Byers was magic. Just to put him back through again. Lovely.
You're saying about the 3 at the back, Brendan. What's nice is to actually see it as a 3, isn't it? It's not like is it a 3? Is it a 4? We don't really know what the formation. People dropping back, keeping it like a 4, when it should be a 3. But it's so positive, and it's nice that the ball's, being played up nicely to the midfield. And as soon as somebody in the midfield's got it, we know full well, we've got that attacking presence, haven't we?
Yeah, Richard, I think Rasmus has been absolutely world class, I think, this afternoon.
Fantastic.
He
On that left.
He has done some superb running with the ball, some great passing of the ball, really going forward. And Raggett has saved us 2 or 3 times, actually, with his interceptions. We could have been 2-1 down by now if it weren't for Raggett. But, I think we're doing well. Byers, I've always wanted to see him play, and he's playing in a role that I think he's comfortable at. I think that the Ben Close, yes, he's had a couple of wayward passes, but he's putting some lovely balls to the outsides. Missed a couple, yes, he has. Yeah, quite. I understand why you comment about that, but he has actually been quite good. I don't think anybody's really having a bad game at all at the moment. Connor, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I just echo exactly what you say. I think starting Byers, I think we're actually able to see his ability now, rather than just coming on as a substitute. That flick on was amazing. Yeah, I can't really find too many negatives apart from some of the wayward passes, but our intention is there.
So,
Sorry,
what do you reckon about Mr. Harness then? He's a bit quiet at the moment.
Yeah, I think he's quiet, but it's more Marquis I'm more worried about. He's very quiet. He just seems to be running up and down, not a lot of effort. But I think, you know, we always say that, you know, Williams is putting these hard yards up and down that wing as well. And I think he's having the better game between him and Harness. And I think it's coming down that left side is quite nice.
What do you reckon, Adam?
What's nice to see is that we're actually getting chances. You know, we're actually, you know, we're giving ourselves a chance. That's the main thing. We haven't done that in the first half in the last couple of games. But obviously, Adam, how did you see it?
I completely agree. It was a bit of a slow start. I think we all saw that. It was a bit of a slow start to get into the game. I think they pressed us quite high, but I'm really comfortable with the back as well. I think Raggett has been really class. Nicolaisen controlling the ball, showing his passing ability has been really nice, and a bit of skill. Sometimes he's beaten his man 1 or 2 times. Marquis, I agree, has been very quiet, which I think a lot of us did deep down probably expect. He's not going to be banging them in straight away, but I think it may come. I do sense maybe Ronan feeding him or Harness feeding him, but it's also nice seeing Williams running back, defending, being that complete runner that we always saw and loved. So I think it's been a really nice game so far, and I think I could potentially see another one.
Yeah, but that's where I said at the beginning, you can't play them both together, and they're not together, which is great. They seem both of them seem to be better players. I mean, Williams is playing, I think, quite a good game, and he's done some lovely, nice touches. But yeah, you keep Harness and Williams away, I think we get a better game.
I agree.
That old saying about Marquis: you can take a donkey to water, but you can't make it drink. Give him the ball, but can't score.
Yeah, that's more like it.
Hey, gents, I've been listening to the conversation and I couldn't agree more. I got you all in, and you're all consummate professionals. I really appreciate you sort of hanging on while I sort of got myself sorted. Because you wouldn't believe how tough it is just chatting constantly for 45 minutes or so. And Graham's confirmed that to me. So thank you for all holding the fort. Interesting one from David has said, are you watching the same games? This is poor apart from the goal. Is Marquis even playing? And Sean, that kind of relates to what you were saying. But I've actually thought, given what we've been used to for the last couple of weeks, it's been really good and a big difference. What do you make of it?
It's been okay. It's been okay. I think Marquis is trying to make the runs, and I think he ran into close at one point, going off the same ball. But I just think that right side, Harness and Marquis, Marquis needs Harness to play more, to feed him a bit more, and it's not really happening. So the other option is you shuffle up a bit and maybe bring on Bolton at right centre defence and put Johnson further up the pitch, and then maybe Marquis might get a bit more service. And if that doesn't work, then I'd probably then swap Marquis to Stanley and then just give him a run out towards the end. But that's what I'd probably sort of see how the game goes.
Richard, what have you noticed that's changed from Pompey's previous 4 performances compared to what we've seen for the first 45?
I would say positivity at the top end of the park. We're very, we seem to be very good in the defence and midfield and have been for a number of weeks, apart from the goals that have been let in. But today it just seems though, the ball is freely moving about, and it's getting to the flanks and it's getting brought into the centre of the box. And it is, it is a joy to see, it's a pity really we're not there to actually witness it in, what looks like absolutely stunning, settings today, of Fratton Park.
Brendan, Mike, I think your brother Brendan Connell mentioned it, that the sort of the slightly wayward ball, and particularly, I know we all love him on here, but Ben Close, for me, I was watching it and I sort of picked up that and sort of logged that the 3 or 4 balls that he did attempt to put in front of their sort of a defensive line and our attacking line weren't quite on the money. Is that just one of the little things that you might iron out and hopefully look for a consummate second half performance now?
Yeah, definitely. I've got all faith in Close, and I think everyone on this screen will agree that we all love Close, and we all know that, obviously being the local lad, but even not just that, but we know he's nicknamed the Pompey Xavi for a reason. You know, he can play these balls that cut open the defences. Yeah, even Xavi missed a few passes in his time. You know, not everyone's perfect. And I just think, you know, in time, as we said before, he's been out of the club. He's been out of the side when Jackie was in charge, and you know he hasn't had that run of games. So playing more consistently, he'll be more consistent with his passes. And what I've noticed today as well is that we're not as high pressed as we have been in recent weeks. We have been pressing at times, which I've noticed, but we haven't been as on them, which is probably going to help the players, because obviously I think the high press and their fitness levels aren't at that same level where they can constantly bombard the back line of Bristol.
The important factor that's happened today is that we've gone a goal up. Now, the last few weeks we've been going down and not being able to recover. It's lifted the spirit of the lads of the team. You can see they're enjoying the occasion now. They're 1-0 up. It can and hopefully will get better. We'll get some more goals in there. Ben Close, yeah, you've got to play him to get consistency. He has put some nice balls across the pitch and diagonally. Yeah, one or two. Yeah, they are not all going to come off. Not at this level. I mean, we are League One. We're not bloody Champions League or anything like that. So yes, I think we persist in playing the way we are playing. Good shout by Sean. Yeah, Bolton to come on and push Jack Johnson further up into the Marquis slot. I think that's a great shout.
Gaz, where do you see this second half going? What's your final score prediction, my friend?
I'll go 3-0, because I think obviously with that 3 at the back, it's releasing that extra player in midfield. So we're not actually we're dominating more of the midfield, I think. Do you know what I mean? We just need to, get that extra ball up top, like, for Marquis is going to be the goal scorer. But yeah, 3-0 for me, and Richard's spot on with the substitutions. This is an ideal situation. If we go 2 or 3 up, Alfie's got to come on, and I just want to see that kid score a goal. I don't know. It's just something about for me. I just want him to score a goal, and you know what I mean. See that young kid score a goal for his team. I'll be excited for it.
Nothing better, Richard. Just to say as well before we leave you all and crack on with the second half. But Noel said missing a lot of opportunities, and missing opportunities cost us goals and points. And we've missed opportunities for weeks on end, Richard. And luckily, Curtis has managed to take at least one of those, and hopefully there will be more this afternoon. Where do you see the second half going now from Pompey? And is it a case of just building on what we've built in the first?
Yeah, I say we've got to, haven't we? I think it'll end up a 2-0 victory, and I think we'll come out to that. I think with the positivity that we can play the formation of the 3-5-2, and what it does, it just gives the players the confidence, doesn't it? That's what they need. They've had, all they're doing is getting drummed all the time on the park. They get drummed in the dressing room by the manager because of the performance. They then get it on the training park as well. They've got to work really hard, high press, very hard sessions, but it is that thing, they'll come away with the confidence, won't they? But they just need to keep on building, and then to take it into Tuesday.
Sean, keep on building. That's what we're all about, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Brick by brick, see how it goes. But I think I think the credit has to go to Byers and Close and Naylor, the way they're dominating that midfield. I think Williams has got the energy, but I just think that midfield is going to provide opportunities. And I just think that the more opportunities Curtis and Marquis and people get, the more the confidence will go through the side. So, it's all positive at the minute. Hopefully we can go on and win this convincingly.
And Adam, I'm not sure if anyone's out and out mentioned it. Sean's just spoken about it there, but I would have thought not just because he set up the goal for Curtis, but Byers has been outstanding in Pompey Blue this afternoon.
Looking really good, really sharp, showing his real class there, proving that he deserves it over Cannon. And we all know that Cannon is a good player and a good playmaker, and he is good friends with Curtis. But Byers has not had the chance to come and show himself, and he has just proven that. It does beg the question also for our defence: where's Watmore going to fit in if this 3-back works? Because Johnson, Raggett and Rasmus have all played really well today, and they all have different sort of positions that they play well. Obviously Rasmus on the left hand side because he's left footed, Johnson as the sort of right back, centre back, and Raggett as that tall lump tree in the middle. Where does Watmore come in? Because he was not very good when he was a sort of a right back.
Okay, food for thought. Brendan, looking ahead, and Mike and Connell as well. What's the situation for you? Looking forward to this second period. Mike first. I mean, it's been a positive first half. Would you worry that if we ended up letting one in the back of the net in the second period early doors, that might leave Pompey with another mountain to climb once again?
Yeah, I suppose we don't want to go 1-1 at all. This is a game there for us to take and win. I think we can go on and get that second goal. I don't want to even think about them maybe scoring. They come close a couple of times, and as I said, Raggett's kept us in it. I just think that we need to stay in the front because it helps us and we play better.
I think we should stay with how we're going formation-wise and how we're playing at the moment going into the second half. Maybe change it up, like you say, with the substitution with Johnson, push him up forward. I could see possibly another 2 goals in there, possibly 3-0, maybe Curtis and maybe a header from Raggett, maybe. So,
but yeah, definitely. I think we're going to probably get a decent win today and spent ourselves a bit and maybe if we can jump up the table into the playoff, be lovely. But just bring the 3 points home would be lovely.
Nestling in 6th right now. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for your company. We'll speak to you all after the game. Thank you for covering for me for the time that you were here. Much appreciated. Right, we're going to get going with the second period now. Andrew, thank you for your donation. He said, who's scoring next? I'd like to see another Curtis goal, mate. Personally, I'd like to see at least a brace and perhaps even him go on and score a hat-trick. That would be great to see. Pompey team are not out yet. The referee and his 2 assistants are waiting at the mouth of the South Stand tunnel for them to emerge. Here they do come. It's Ryan Williams who's the first man out onto the pitch, followed by his probably by the Pompey captain, Tom Naylor. Rasmus and Sean Raggett come on as well. And it looks like there's not going to be a half-time substitution for Pompey. We'll have to wait and see and confirm that for you. The gents have mentioned it there about, perhaps making the substitutions, etc., etc. And only time will tell if that comes to fruition. But we are almost ready to go now. Pompey, of course, will have kickoff, given that Bristol Rovers kicked us off for the first period back at 1 o'clock. We are now just past 2 o'clock, so just over an hour later. Joe Gallen and Danny Cowley deep in conversation at the back of the Pompey dugout on the South Stand, and the referee is pretty much straight away ready to go. He's about to blow his whistle for the second half to commence. John Marquis is the man who's going to get it off and underway he does. Ball is in play and we go again. Raggett now across to Rasmus Nikolaisen, who fires one up long towards Marquis, back down to Curtis. Fiery start from Pompey already in an attacking sense, but Curtis just quite wasn't there to claim it 100% fully. Bristol Rovers with the ball up. That one's going to be nodded back from Sean Raggett. Williams needed to react quicker to that one, and Bristol Rovers have it now. This is Luke McCormick, shot from distance straight at Craig McGilvery. He spills initially, but will claim completely now. And that's the first opportunity Bristol Rovers have had in this second half. It comes courtesy of a Luke McCormick shot, which, as I said, straight at Craig McGilvery, down his throat. Didn't trouble the Pompey keeper too much. Initially, he sort of dropped it again, but he hasn't troubled too much. He tried his luck. Low strike, didn't come to anything for him. And again, Williams needs to get to that ball quicker for me. And here come Bristol Rovers again. It'll be another shot from distance. This one's a little bit less powerful than the one previously. I believe it was Alex Rodman who initially got the shot away. Wasn't straight at Craig McGilvery this time, but again, near enough to him for him to not be troubled too much by it. Here we go then. Thomas has said, hi Tom, what's your thoughts on Lincoln late push for promotion? Didn't see them up there. To be honest, Thomas, to be honest with you, mate, I thought that Lincoln would be down and out of it, and I'm surprised that they've managed to retain a playoff spot. They were down and out of it for a while, but now they have sort of worked their way back into things. And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't like to, obviously we want to occupy the spot that Lincoln have right now, wouldn't we? So I'd like to sort of see things drop off for them as well, not in a rude way, but I would like to see Pompey claim that spot back off them. Ryan Williams fired a shot low and hard towards Marquis. It hasn't quite come off in the way that he would have wanted it to. And Nikolaisen touches it down, and now Pompey will go again with 47 minutes on the clock now. Thoughts on Coventry? Love the Rico, mate. Got a couple of mates who are Coventry fans, lovely people, and we're hoping to come and join you back in the Championship. One of the strangest games of football I've ever watched came against you not too long ago, back in League One football when we were actually there. I'm sure you remember the one I'm talking about. Callum Johnson now has been pushed into touch. He'll keep the ball in play nonetheless. It'll be fired up from a Pompey point of view, and that one's going to be batted straight back from Bristol Rovers all the way to Craig McGilvery in goal, who's right on the edge of his penalty area. Fires on up long to Marquis, who claims it well and looks to find Curtis. And Curtis's ball up is nowhere near good enough. And Marquis has dropped down to the deck on his knees. Now he looks to be in a little bit of pain, perhaps. This is Stanley time, everybody. Should he need to be withdrawn from proceedings, Johnny Marquis? I must remember, I can't pause for a drink because no one else is here. So note to self, I think Bobby Backick is putting a thumbs up to the bench to say he'll be okay to continue, or whether it's a thumbs up to mean something else. Nonetheless, he is having a little bit of a conversation with Marquis, trying to work out what is wrong with him. Let me just watch this again and see if he just sort of pulled up, actually, Marquis. It looks like it's an injury that he's sort of sustained himself. 48 minutes and 16 seconds on the clock, Poirier, and he looks like he might be okay to continue, Marquis. It's going to be a drop ball that Thomas Bramwell is going to have to arrange for the ref. He is the referee for the Bristol Rovers players. It's going to go off nonetheless, Marquis. I'm not sure if it's going to be a substitution or not, but he's going to have to go off because he does look in a little bit of discomfort. Perhaps he's going to go off and come straight back on. We'll have confirmation of that in just a moment for you. It's going to be Alfie Kilgore who's going to be taking the drop ball for Bristol Rovers. You would have thought sportingly he'd kick it back to Pompey, seeing as we sustained a bit of an injury there. No, he's not. Well, that's semi-sporting. There we go. Up towards Byers now. Naylor's going to rise for it. He's going to be stopped from getting it, and Byers and Curtis thought they were away there, much to their disappointment, as Bristol Rovers now charge down the left-hand side, just left of the 18-yard box. Bit of a physical challenge from Callum Johnson on Hanlon. And this is Luke McCormick now working his way down the left. He's just in the shadows of the south stand as he occupies the left channel. Back in field with Bristol Rovers now, across to Rodman. Harness picks that one up. Back to Marquis. It's a sliding challenge on Harness there. Cowley claims that it was slight impeding of the rules. Curtis is going to come and try and claim it. Doesn't conquer. Lovely touch from Byers, right on the slap bang on the middle of the halfway line. Bristol Rovers have it now. Luke McCormick fires one up towards, I believe that's Alex Rodman. He's going to chase that all the way down to the corner flag, and Rasmus Nikolaisen is going to try and prevent him from putting the ball into the box. He does really well. Nikolaisen times his challenge perfectly, exquisitely, in fact. 49 minutes. Ryan Williams with it was a challenge behind him, but he's away, the Australian, and the pace that he's got, he uses to its fullest. Alfie Seymour's there as well, and it was almost as if Ryan Williams just lost any steam, and he was up there on his own. Needed a sort of just a moment to compose himself and perhaps wait for colleagues to arrive. Ryan Williams using his pace to get himself up the pitch, but there was no one there ready to be with him, unfortunately for him. 50 minutes is 50 and a half, sorry, is the time on the clock. As Bristol Rovers have a throw in on the far side. Blazing sunshine this afternoon at Fratton Park, as it is in pretty much the entire country this afternoon. Rasmus Nikolaisen to Close, who sort of heads it to himself and receives it. Almost wasn't expecting to receive it, but Harness has it nonetheless. Spins round to Johnson. Dispatches to Harness, who's made some space for himself on the right-hand side. Puts the ball along the grass to Marquis, who pokes one up to Close. And now Byers. Brilliant football from Pompey. A ball across towards Curtis. He heads it on. Naylor wins it. Ball to Ryan Williams. This would be a superb goal if it goes in. Marquis and the keepers come and claim that one. Anis Chakola. That was brilliant, Pompey. Brilliant football from Pompey. One of the best moves that we've seen in the 50 minutes that we've been playing here at Fratton Park this afternoon, and seemingly have their mojo back, perhaps. Sully has said, can you give a congrats to my team, South Side Star Lions under 15s for winning Div 2, not losing a game all season. Sully, let's sign you up for Pompey, mate. That is superb. Many congratulations to your side. very well done, and hopefully you can have a good season next season. Congratulations to you all. Craig McGilvery now has got it in his hands. Brilliant play from Pompey. Lovely football. McGilvery dispatches to Rasmus Nikolaisen, who's the nearest man in a blue shirt to him, sorry. Back to McGilvery, who's going to fire one long up the pitch this time, seeing his playing out for the back wasn't on for him. He's going to go route one. Curtis attempts to win the header. It's going to be a second opportunity for him. It just slightly bounces over the top of Byers' head, and that one's back to Ansi Jacola in the Bristol Rovers box. Naylor pokes one through to Curtis, making an awful lot of ground. It's a sheepish challenge from behind him from, not sure who that was. Wasn't the nicest from Luke McCormick. He might receive a card from the referee, Thomas Bramo, who hasn't been card happy this afternoon. He has, as Richard was mentioning at halftime, let play continue in its fullest with only a minute added on at the end of the first period. Nonetheless, it is a free kick for Pompey on the edge of the box. Not on the edge of the box, probably 40 yards from goal, almost. Keith, we are very much dictating, especially in the opening period of this second half, not hanging on by any stretch of the imagination. Ben Close now is going to take the free kick for Pompey. A little bit of movement in the box before he even kicks it. Preempts a ball delivery in Closey, but he's going to do so nonetheless. And that's, again, it's another easy one for Anisi and, I can't say his name, Jacola, came to claim. But it wasn't on the money from Close, and unfortunately hasn't had the best of games this afternoon. But as Brendan and Mike quite rightly said, we are not a Super League side, are we? Well, no one's a Super League side, but you know what I mean, we're not a Champions League side by any stretch of the imagination. We are Pompey, the Super Pompey from the south. And Bristol Rovers have it now, and the ball goes into the box, and it's going to be a defensive duty that Callum Johnson is going to have to fulfil. Byers is not beaten to it by any stretch by Luke Lee. That's going to be a Pompey. Oh, no, it's not. It's going to be a corner ball. I would have probably given that Pompey spade, but there we go. Hello to Kit the Brit. 6 a.m. here. These early starts playing havoc with my sleep. At least we're winning. Come on, boys. Kit, the good news is it's the last of the early starts, mate, for you this season. Hopefully, the playoffs, if we get there, won't be too difficult for you to watch. But thank you for being with us nonetheless. South side wrong. I think it had an eye in it, mate. You threw me off. But South side, my apologies. Congratulations to you all. Rumour has it Sunderland joining the Super League as they are too bad for England. I wouldn't disagree with those rumours. Ball up. Oh, that's going to be a bit of a challenge on Callum Johnson. Ryan Williams now. Ball up the top. To Byers. Oh, that was almost a brilliantly timed ball to the Pompey captain, Tom Naylor. But Bristol Rovers conserve their possession. 55 minutes now. Push on Sean Raggett, but he's done really well to prevent the corner there, the Pompey man. Love it from Raggett. Love it, love it, love it. 55 minutes on the clock. It is going to be a throw-in on that far side. As I gulp away at my water. 5 shots from Bristol Rovers, 3 from Pompey, but all important statistic is the goals, and that is heading Pompey's way so far. This is the first time Bristol Rovers have really been in Pompey's attacking half, and they stay in that corner. It's going to be another throw-in delivery from, I believe it's George Williams. It's going to be a substitution. I believe it's going to be a Pompey one. I haven't got confirmation of who it will be yet. We'll find out in just a moment or two as George Williams is going to deliver this throw-in. 28-year-old is about to chuck it. Taking his time with it by any stretch of the imagination. Williams has done well. Curtis, inside his own penalty area, fires one up towards Marquis, who brings it down brilliantly. Back to Johnson, and his clearance is blocked by Bristol Rovers and trickles harmlessly out of play there. And I'm just waiting to hear who that substitution is going to be, whether it's a Pompey one or a Rovers one. We'll have to wait and see. 57 minutes on the clock now. I believe it is going to be a Bristol Rovers one, not a Pompey one. Sorry to get your hopes up if I did. 56.5 minutes on the clock. Craig McGilvery fires long. Ryan Williams puts a hand over his face to shade the sun beaming down on him. Raggett with the crucial kick away. Williams header on. Curtis is frustrated that he can't get there before Pablo Martinez did. Bristol Rovers keep the ball back in their own defensive territory. It's a slip from Marquis at exactly the wrong moment, 57 minutes on the clock. And that one's going to reach out to the left-hand side. Harness is going to try and penetrate the ball off him. But he's done well there, Luke Lee, to keep possession and eventually win a throw-in for his troubles. We're approaching the hour mark here at Fratton Park. It's a beautiful sunny day. Thank you for joining us live here on Fournilwrittenalloverit. If you're new to the channel, drop us a subscribe. We're edging towards 8,000 now, which is huge. So thank you for your continued support. Drop a like on the stream as well. 118 of you already have done so. So thank you to all you legends. If you want to be a legend too, drop us a like on the stream. That'd be much appreciated. Right, Marquis working his way up now, chasing the ball that is currently at Jack Baldwin's feet. Sorry. Thanks for your comment, Neil. Much appreciated, mate. Glad you're enjoying yourself with us live here on Fournilwrittenalloverit. Header on from Hanlon. And I believe Johnson's going to be nearest to it. He's not going to need to get anything on it because that one will be I believe it's a Pompey throwing on that near touchline. A referee's just going to... Oh, I think we're going to have the substitution now. It's Oztumer is the man who's making his way onto the pitch. And Zane Westbrook, who hasn't done an awful lot for Bristol Rovers so far, and it's going to be Oztumer, who we've seen him before, haven't we? Somewhere rings a bell. Oztumer. I don't think he was playing for Bristol Rovers, perhaps another side. I'm not sure. Someone will probably tell me in a moment or two, because my football knowledge is decent, but it's not as good as some of the gents that join us on the stream week in, week out, or not as good as some of you in the live chat. So I'm sure you'll let me know. Ball is with Pompey now. Tom Naylor does well to doggedly win it back. And this is Rasmus Nikolaisen, who's operating right in the centre of the Pompey half. Rasmus to Raggett and Raggett to Rasmus. Curtis on the spin in the centre circle. Loses out there. It's a bit of a dodgy touch from Curtis, who's frustrated by that. And Luke McCormick will embark positively, try and get a ball into the box. And Raggett's there to fire away. Curtis will claim down on his chest and fire long towards Harness and Byers and that sort of zone. And then he'll work his way back to Charlton. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Hello to Panda Boys Gaming. Welcome along to the stream. Appreciate that, William. And it's been a long old time chatting about Pompey from a desk. Appreciate it. And I need to watch more football in order to know more about it. An hour gone now here at Fratton Park. This is Pablo Martinez. John Marquis is endeavouring to win the ball back. He's tracking his man very well. And despite that, Bristol Rovers retain the ball. Rasmus nodded on to Curtis. Can't claim it in time for Bristol Rovers to get to it. That's Alex Rodman now. Things are sort of fizzled out from what was a really energetic first period. Left-hand side now with Bristol Rovers. This is Luke Lee, who's lost out to Harness. Challenge goes in. Can he continue to win it back? Throws his man to the ground, Harness. He's frustrated by the physicality of the game and trots out of it in just enough time there, Marcus Harness. Things getting a little bit physical on the near touchline, but such is the nature of this one this afternoon at Fratton Park. It has been physicality, and it wouldn't be, and we knew that challenge was coming from this Joey Barton side. Header from Williams is won, but not conclusively. Now it is Curtis. That was going to be fired up into the gods of the North Stand, and Lionel on that far side will signal for a Pompey throw-in. We're approaching 61 minutes on the clock now. Andy Cannon is going to be brought on in just a few moments' time. I'm not quite sure who's going to be withdrawn from proceedings. Who will get the number in just a moment. I hope it's not Byers, but it probably will be. Perhaps Danny Cowley's looking to just firm up his midfield action, and if it's not Byers, it will probably provoke a slight formation change. We'll have more on that for you in just a moment. Header on from the throw-in that Nikolaisen delivered is won by Bristol Rovers. Back with Ryan Williams now from a Pompey point of view. Newcastle have equalised against Liverpool, who had the lead from 3 minutes with Mo Salah. Marquis, but that's not proper football. Marquis working his way up towards the top of the pitch. It's a cross-ball pass from Bristol Rovers that is poor from their point of view. Perhaps the reason why... and it's Ben Close who's being taken off. I agree with that one. Not Ben Close's finest game for Pompey. Not to knock him in any way, shape or form, because we are all, as we said at halftime, if you were with us, we are all massive fans of what Ben Close is doing for Pompey. Andy Cannon looks ready to rumble. Closey with a early finish to his afternoon. By no way a poor game for him, but just perhaps not his best. And on trots Andy Cannon, Andrew's favourite. He'll be absolutely gutted that he's not seeing that man play. And that goal was actually come in the 92nd minute for Callum Wilson for Newcastle. So bit of an upset for Liverpool, who'd be looking to get back towards those top 4 spaces this afternoon in the Premier League as the early kickoff. Oh, and I can confirm it's a no goal from VAR, so it remains 1-0 to Liverpool. What a shame. Curtis getting to the dead ball line and manages to keep it in play and finds Williams. That's really good from Pompey. Curtis just needs to get himself back on side, and he does do so. Brilliant spin in the box. Lays it off to Naylor, who might take a shot from distance. No, unselfishly plays Byers in. It fumbles under his feet there, George Byers. Header from Rasmus, well timed. On to Cannon, who gets his first bit of possession on the ball. Sorry, just reading something on the phone there. Tom Naylor now out to the right-hand side. Marcus Harness. You just said that, Chappelle, and you distracted me. George Byers, thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Wishing you were here. Ball went into the box, and it's just not decent enough from a Pompey point of view. And now we find ourselves under pressure there. But Callum Johnson kept a cool head and manages to play in his captain, Tom Naylor. Raggett cutting through the heart lines of Pompey's midfield and up towards halfway. Callum Johnson now spreading things out to the right-hand side. As the ball along the grass to Byers. Poked on by Marquis. Naylor plays him in. Cannon on the spin. Back to Naylor. Cannon, who's recently come on operating centrally, as he so often does for Pompey. And he's made a really good season of it as well. Harness onto Callum Johnson. Now things just settling down from a Pompey and Bristol Rovers point of view in these last couple of moments. Johnson brings things over halfway, and that ball is going to reach absolutely no one unless Marquis can get over there in time, and he can't do so. 65 minutes on the clock now, and I can confirm that Newcastle have scored again. It is now 1-1, and whether that one will be for definite or not, we will have to wait and see, but they have got a goal nonetheless. That could throw a spanner in the works in Liverpool's hopes for top 4 Premier League finish this season, right in the dying embers of that game. Anisi Jacola, the Finnish goalkeeper. Joseph Willock's the man who's got the goal in the 90+6 minutes. 96th minute for Newcastle. That one's just deviated out of play, and it will be a Pompey throw-in on this near touchline. Callum Johnson's going to be the man to take it. Heading forward from a Pompey point of view. Quick thumbs up from Callum Johnson, who almost throws the ball to Raggett, but decides otherwise. Johnson rubs the ball between his hands a couple of times and eventually plays in Harness. Ball back in play now. Byers with a bit of a wayward touch on the ball, and Pablo Martinez is the man nearest to it. But Pompey win it back, and Curtis frustrated that his first touch wasn't good enough in order to retain it. And now the pressure's on as Ansi Jacola dispatches long. 65.5 minutes on the clock. It has finished. Liverpool 1, Newcastle 1. What a great point that is for Newcastle. They weren't in a sort of relegation battle by any stretch, but it dents Liverpool's attempts at, as I said, a decent finish in the league. 66 minutes on the clock now. Back here at Fratton Park, Harness sticks a leg out. Here we go again with Bristol Rovers. And Byers is going to get close to that one. Brilliant now from Pompey. They got the opportunity to counter-attack. Curtis finds Marquis. This has got to be edge of the box strike, and it's blocked well from Alfie Kilgore. He got down low, and that was such an inviting opportunity for Marquis, who didn't convert. That was probably the best chance that Pompey have had all second half. Curtis was driving forward, made up an awful lot of ground, took a look to his left and picked out John Marquis, who took a single touch and then struck with his left boot on the edge of the box. And it was brilliant from Alfie Kilgore, poor from John Marquis, and he'll be upset that he didn't score that. And how did he not score that? Many Pompey fans will be asking watching that, because that was a golden opportunity to double Pompey's lead and put them 2 goals in front. Retro Shirt Sean believes that the time is now for a Marquis substitution. I think many will resonate that fact with him. Perhaps it will be Stanley time at Fratton Park. George Williams is taking a throw in on the side of the north stand. It's going to be a long throw head towards Craig McGilvery. It was a decent opportunity. It was bouncing behind him. McGilvery did really well to sort of stop in his tracks and claim it as it bounced up towards him with his hands above his head like that. It nearly snuck in the sort of left-hand corner of his net there. James Daly got a touch on it. Ball's back underway with Tom Naylor now. He fires one up long over the top, and that is the worst ball that he's played all afternoon, Naylor. It just completely superseded anyone underneath him, and Ansi Jacola will say thank you very much and get things going again for the Pirates. 68 minutes on the clock now. It's a cross ball fired long. And again, that one is going to reach Callum Johnson. He does really well to head it down and find Andy Cannon, who retreats back to a more central role at this moment in time. On the right-hand channel, back to his mate and colleague, Harness. Infield to Naylor. Back to Sean Raggett inside his own penalty area. Is he going to look to the left-hand side to Rasmus? Yes, he will do. You can read what Sean Raggett's going to do like a book. We are in the 68th minute now, Ollie. Thanks for joining us, mate. Doing really well. Thank you. Hope you are well as well. Luckily, mate, we've got a bit of a win on our hands here. Hopefully, it'd be nice to get a couple more. And then we claim it. Claim all 3 points. It was, as Richard quite rightly said at halftime, a typical Ronan Curtis goal. A wonderful flick on from George Byers. And there's Harvey White, who is preparing himself to come on for Pompey. Not sure who that's going to be for. I'll give you that information as soon as I get it, either in my ear or as I can see it visually. 69 minutes approaching now. Marquis goes up for the header, locks horns with Jack Baldwin. Comes off second best to it, Marquis, and the ball is up top. Stanley is coming on, according to Mr. Hamilton. Let me just turn up my audio so I can hear whether that's being discussed. Ball up the pitch towards Byers, who's just gone too early, caught by the offside flag by the assistant referee on this near touchline here. And I believe that's Harvey White who is being prepared to come on. It is indeed. And it's going to be who's making way for him? I haven't got a clue. Charlie Daniels is actually giving him a little bit of... George Byers will be the man making his way off the pitch. And for me, I think probably Byers in the opening 70 minutes or so has been one of the best players on the pitch. Or perhaps Sean... it is White. Sean saw a youthful man preparing himself in the Pompey dugout and thought it was... got himself a little bit too excited, which is what we all did as soon as Danny and Nicky came in charge of Portsmouth Football Club. Right, back with Ansi Jacola. That one's tickled me a little bit. Anyway, Rovers will look to get things going again over the top, and it's a decent ball threaded through, but not if Craig McGilvery's got anything to say about it and just takes a touch. Is this really the game for our man Harvey White? A physical challenge for him. Maybe he can hold his own. Maybe I'll eat my words in the next 20 minutes or so. Maybe he'll go and convert and make it 2-0 Pompey. Who knows? All these questions we want to know the answers to. Cannot provide them to you yet. Ball over the top. I will do so, Ollie. I will do so. And I saw your comment before, mate. It'd be big if we can hold on to these 3 points. Raggett now is the man we're watching. It's going to be a Bristol Rovers throw-in, and that's taken rather quickly. John Marquis is the man furthest up the pitch. I'm just going to take a quick sip. Bear with me a moment, ladies and gents. There we go. Lovely stuff. Back with Alfie Kilgore now. Ball at the top, 72 minutes on the clock. Touchdown by Williams. He's only really knocked that one on for Bristol Rovers to capitalise on. It's going to be a delivery from the right-hand side from Alex Rodman. Back to Luke Lee. Push from Cannon, and the referee all day is going to blow up for a free kick. Oz Toomer's just making a nuisance of himself, protesting his innocence there. Cannon, and it It was a push nonetheless. He didn't get anywhere near the ball. Really, really slight little tap on the back, and the referee very quickly blows up for one of those, which is not what we like to see, but there we are. Kit is having a wonderful morning. He's feeding the cats, still trying to listen. What are your cats' names, Kit? Let us know. Hello to your cats. Jacob asked the question that we are all asking: what has happened to John Marquis? Hasn't had his scoring boots on since Shrewsbury, perhaps? Marquis is like a car sitting in a field. Scrap. Wonderful comment from Traditional Signs of London. Thank you very much. On the flip side, Kian has and Marquis clearly is talent, but is way too inconsistent as is a player based on confidence. And Andrew has made me laugh. Kit's cats. I didn't realise that I just named a popular confectionery item without even realising it. There we go. Craig McGilvery taking a goal kick, or was it a free kick perhaps? Bit of a push and a shove in the box for that ball that was delivered earlier on from Bristol Rovers. Things go again from a Pompey point of view, and Callum Johnson fires long, and that's, again, how many times have we seen that this afternoon? A ball that completely evades everybody underneath it. I say that, Curtis might have just won a corner ball there, but he hasn't done so. And it's actually really well done by Alfie Kilgore, who's had a really good game defensively from a Bristol Rovers point of view, and Ansi Jacola will go again. I believe there's going to be another substitution being made. It might be a Pompey one. It might be a Rovers one. We'll let you know in just a moment or two. Unfortunately, we're not like Sky Sports yet, and we haven't got men on the ground working out the substitutions, because your usual terrestrial outlets will let you know a substitution before it's even happened. But we have to rely on the men in the know here on Fournilwritten All Over It. Dogged defending there required from Andy Cannon. He's done... dogged attacking there and dogged defending needed from Bristol Rovers, I should say. It's going to be a double substitution from Bristol Rovers. It's going to be James Daly's being withdrawn from proceedings to be replaced by the number 20 Hargreaves. Doesn't look at all happy about it, James Daly. Won't be adding to the 3 goals that he scored already for the Rovers this afternoon. On comes, I believe... Oh, we've completely lost who it was because iFollow have cut away, which is wonderful. But there we go. And it will be a double substitution there from Bristol Rovers. I don't think there's an awful lot in terms of a formation change for them, with just 15 minutes on the clock, looking to grapple their way back into things. It's Daly and Rodman who's come off. And I believe it will be Walker and Hargreaves making their way onto the pitch for the Pirates. Play anyone other than Marquis, even Barry Harris from David. Wonderful stuff. Curtis, we've been really good, mate. It's been much more positive from a Pompey point of view, and we're approaching the last 15 minutes, and I think I speak for every Pompey fan right now when I say that this will probably do us if we don't let any in. A 1-0 will be fine. It would be lovely to double the lead and really put a cushion between ourselves and the Pirates. Nonetheless, they're having a good old go, so it would be nice to put them to the sword, as they are the Pirates. Not having that one. Difficult to see how my jokes hit with no one around, but there we are. Right, here is a brand new substitution who's just come on. Hargreaves. There he is in the centre of midfield and finds Luke McCormick. 75.5 minutes on the clock. Marquis trotting back into the centre pit circle. Archie said, "Hi, Tom. When I don't have access to iFollow, you are the first person I would come to. You're doing a great job, mate. Keep it up." Archie, that is much appreciated, mate. I do appreciate that. Thank you for your kind comment, and I'm glad you're enjoying yourself this afternoon. Thank you to everyone else who, like Archie's been joining us this afternoon. A very warm welcome along to you all. And again, thank you for being with us live on Fournilwritten All Over It. This is the place to be for your afternoon of Pompey commentary. Although I am solemn and on my own this afternoon, we've had fun nonetheless, and we're going to speak to the gents after the game in a moment or two, in less than 15 minutes time, and hopefully we'll all be celebrating a big 3 points for Pompey. So there we go. Right, it's going to be a double substitution. We actually mentioned... I'll tell you what, the boys will be happy about this, but it's James Bolton and Charlie Daniels who will be making their way onto the pitch. No Alfie Stanley. It's Harness who's going to be retracted from proceedings for Bolton. I believe I might have been a bit busy at the time, getting drinks and refreshments, etc. But I think this was a topic of conversation at halftime, although it's come on 77 minutes. The change has still been made. Bolton and Nate and Daniels, perhaps a Williams coming off. He's gone off on the far side. Perhaps an ounce of experience, an ounce of seeing the way out of things seeing the game out, here on Fournilwrittenalloverit and at Fratton Park live. Wait to see. We'll probably get word on the the decision-making process behind those substitutions. But it's Williams and Harness who've come off, and Bolton and Daniels are the men coming on. So a much more defensive switch from Danny Cowley and his brother. So perhaps the latter of what I was discussing just a few moments ago. Pompey are looking to conserve this lead rather than go and get another one. If we are consistent enough, Archie, yes, completely, mate. I agree that. Well, I don't know if you feel like we'll get one either, but yeah, I reckon a playoff spot's more than likely for us. More than likely. Noel, I will check my Instagram messages as soon as I get off the stream, mate, and I will see what you've said. Obviously, playoffs are doable, but it's going to take a fat slice of luck, and hopefully this is going to be the catalyst for the winds of change, perhaps, for Pompey heading into the last couple of games for us. And perhaps, as Jeff has quite rightly mentioned, sitting back on a 1-0 lead is inviting the pressure, perhaps, but it's not an awful lot of potency that Bristol Rovers have offered up top so far this afternoon. Still 11, 12 minutes on the clock to play. As Marquis wins the ball back off of Bristol Rovers. Danny Cowley just taking his time to go and retrieve the ball. It was Daniels on, says Pompey Azza. I give him 3 minutes to give away another. Oh, sorry, he's upset about Daniels being on. Must have had a dirt on how to play that many games for Bournemouth. There we go. Not happy. This is Pompey Azza, but there we are. Hopefully he won't be conceding another penalty. That one's hit Harvey White, and he's going to be the man to keep the ball. It's a push on the back of Marquis. Referee's going to completely miss that one. And Curtis with the opportunity now on the edge of the box. He's all on his own, but can he make him? Put them to the sword. And that flashed across the goal. Wow. Decent opportunity from Curtis there. I don't know whether the referee was playing on, but Harvey White put a ball right up to the top of the pitch. Brilliant pinpoint pass from him. Crikey, that was a curling ball from Curtis. Second huge chance. Unbelievable ball from the Spurs youth products there in the shape of Harvey White. We'll get this angle to see just how close it was. Oh, it was close as well. Probably a yard or two wide of the post there, and Curtis with the opportunity to make it a brace for Pompey this afternoon. And that goal kick from Ansi Jacola is evaded absolutely everybody as we tick over into 80 minutes. This is James Bolton now. And Brendan would have put his house on Curtis scoring that. Brendan, stamp duty still doesn't apply, mate. So you're all right. Cannon, crikey, that was a grown-up joke, wasn't it? Right. Naylor has headed one down. There's 81 minutes on the clock, and the Bristol Rovers captain, the Pirates captain, is down on the pitch, on the deck. On the deck. How many can we fit into one sentence? No one laughed, but no one's here. So there we go. And they really did not make a meal of that ball up the top of the pitch from Jack Baldwin, sorry. And that chance from Curtis, chance from Johnny Marquis earlier on in the half as well, is all that Pompey have really had. But they're two decent opportunities, and what I like to see is a bit of a glimpse of it on the iFollow. But Nicky Cowley's in deep discussion with the bench. Even the players that have come off the pitch, he's still discussing the game with them. Curtis rolls over in the box. He's not going to win a penalty. Bristol Rovers. Right, here we go then. Bristol Rovers. Onto his shipmate in defence. I'll try and slot them in for the last 10 minutes or so. But this is all Pompey now at the moment as Daniels is on the left-hand side. He's got a bit of a challenge to relish, and he does do so well. Curtis to Harvey White in the centre of midfield. Completely conducts play out to the right-hand side to Bolton. Callum Johnson's got work to do to get his ball in, and he does so. And that's, again, it's going to evade everyone in the box. Keith, to be honest, I can't sum up the contribution of Marquis today because it would be rude of me to say so, because he has been absolute toilet this afternoon. Yeah, I mean, he probably missed every single opportunity that he's had to contribute in an attacking sense in any way, shape or form for Pompey. That is how I would sum it up. And for a striker who's been underperforming for weeks, on his 100th appearance, it was written in the stars for Marquis to come good today. Unfortunately for him and unfortunately for Pompey, it hasn't come that way. Bristol Rovers are making another double substitution. Over the top, what am I talking about? It's a temporary pause in play now. Further changes. Martinez and Kilgore are making their way off the pitch. And the final 7 minutes, they are going to be replaced by some other crewmates for Bristol Rovers. Hare and Little are coming onto the pitch. Not sure if that's got any significance. If you're a Bristol Rovers fan, let us know. Pompey still searching for the treasure of a second. But it's Bristol Rovers looking like complete, well, not complete, but the not even the definition, but relative castaways in this second period. And Pompey have conceded a free kick in an attacking position. Marquis is absolutely abysmal, Tom. Why does he get a gain? Who is the alternative if you have one? John, it's a young man called Alfie Stanley who we've been baying like wolves for several weeks here on the show and across the Pompey fan base. And he's been affectionately named Mar-Miss in the comments this afternoon, which is great to see. But I don't see it. I don't think I've seen one positive comment about Marquis's contribution for weeks now. And as our number one attacker, that's poor and it's problematic and it's difficult from us to watch, really, because you really want Marquis to do really well. And I don't think anyone's wishing a poor performance on him because we're all Pompey at the end of the day. But it's frustrating to watch him miss the chances that he has. And, you know, does Marquis need to walk the plank in the summer? It could be needed. Could be needed. That's a really tough question, Archie, because they are very similar players. Organ grinders for Pompey. Michael Doyle was superb. He did a lot of work that went unnoticed for us in the league 2 days. Easily one of the players of the season, other than Matt Clark back in the day for us. Naylor, again, is a stalwart in the centre of midfield. He conducts everything, makes everything happen, etc. So, yeah, that's a really tough one to call. It's a great question and a really tough one. Right now, because we're playing at a slightly better level than we were, I'd probably go Naylor just got a little bit more of an edge on Doyle. And Doyle had a lot of experience. But Naylor's just got that little bit more for me from my point of view. Craig McGilvery's trotted over to claim one. Or should I say? No, I can't think of one. Sorry. That was a really sort of... I tried to slip one in surreptitiously there, but yeah, I never thought I'd be saying the word surreptitiously on a stream, but we've said it. 4 minutes until we're going to finish this one. Regulation time, that is, and Andy Cannon's taken one down. Harvey White, I said he'd be a lightweight. He's put a really good challenge in there, and it's meant that Pompey retained possession. Callum Johnson on the edge of the box, back to Cannon, 1 and 2 touch football. James Bolton slightly further back, in the Pompey attacking sense. lovely triangles once again. It's something that we've had the pleasure of watching. That's brilliant from Cannon, who gets to Callum Johnson. The referee's going to play on, and that one's the advantage. Wasn't taken from Pompey there. It's going to be a free kick for the Pirates. Sean Raggett is the man who's been thrown aboard there. We should probably stop now because they're not getting any better, are they? Quick free kick taken by Bristol Rovers. Referee's going to blow his whistle and just make sure that it's taken at the position that the foul was committed. And Luke McCormick is going to be, the man to take it. Ball out wide for Bristol Rovers. It's passed on, and Pompey win it back, and it's almost that would have been offside in rugby, put it that way, as Bristol Rovers retain it now. Luke Lee looks out to the left-hand side to find Luke McCormick, but he can't quite do so, and Pompey win it back. Still looking for that second goal, Pompey, and they've had a couple of opportunities to do so. It's been a lot of play in the centre of midfield, and Pompey have held their own, more than held their own, against what has been by no means, you wouldn't have thought Bristol Rovers are the team battling at the bottom of the table, but they are, and as it stands, Pompey will relegate them in just a few minutes now, and they do not look like a side that are moments from relegation, let me tell you that. They look like completely the opposite, to be honest with you. Ball into the box from Bristol Rovers, and Harvey White's going to need to be back there on defensive duties. Luckily, the referee's going to blow up for a free kick. I believe there was a handball in the box there from Bristol Rovers. And Pompey will get to go again. It'll probably be Craig McGilvery to take this one. Perhaps it was just a bit of a pull on Sean Raggett's shirt that the referee noticed in the box there, or maybe a challenge on Harvey White nonetheless. And as Traditional Signs of London has said over the summer, we will need players to steady the ship for Pompey, absolutely, to prevent us from springing a leak and running aground. Craig McGilvery, no one's laughing, I can tell. Fires one up the pitch. It's ironic, really, isn't it? It's satire and it's poor, so I'm really sorry. I can only apologise. Marquis, put it this way, if my colleague was with me this afternoon, it would have been a lot worse. Marquis can only watch that one go out of play, and it's going to be a Bristol Rovers throw-in. With 1 minute of regulation time left to go at the end of this game. Thank you to everyone who stays with us live here on Fournilwrittenalloverit. And if you have been all afternoon, I really do appreciate your company. We're going to have plenty of conversation with all the ladies and gentlemen. And I'm delighted to say that we've hit 7.2k, which is fantastic news. And if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, please make sure you do so. And take us deep into the 7.2k club, which is superb to see. And thank you for your continued outstanding support. We know this is a club of superb support, and that's been mirrored and reflected here on YouTube. So many thanks indeed. Harvey White's done well to win that one now, and he's going to play the ball to Cannon, who will look to bring things forward. And he's done really well there, Cannon, and unfortunately he's going to go down and win a free kick for his troubles there. And since he's come on, Cannon has been a stalwart. It's going to be 4 minutes of added time now for Pompey to see out. Hopefully, we'll send Bristol Rovers sailing away down into League Two. And we are almost done, which is what we will all breathe a sigh of relief if 3 points come Pompey's way. With 30 seconds of the 4 minutes has been played, and Pompey with the ball now. It's a ball through to Marquis, from I believe it was Charlie Daniels, and that one will be a Pompey throw-in that Pompey are by no means taking quickly. And just a reminder that we are playing a team that we are just about to relegate, which is, I don't know, disappointing from my point of view, because we should, and this is no pun intended, but we should be putting these lot to the sword. We've had not ample opportunity, but a couple of decent opportunities in this second period to go on and win the game. We are winning the game. Really, really bad choice of words there. My apologies. To go on and make it 2, 3, maybe could have even been 4 if you factor in the chances that Pompey had in the first period. But what I will say is so much more positive, so much more enthusiasm on display from all the boys this afternoon, which is really good to see. And I'm really glad that we put on a performance that we will smile and look on as a fond reflection, perhaps, rather than what we've been mistreated with over the last 4 games. Because remember, before this, Pompey had lost 3 of their last 4. And Bristol Rovers, you wouldn't expect anything less, really, because they are one of only 3 sides in all 4 divisions in professional English football without an away win in the calendar year of 2021. So, you know, if that doesn't say anything, I don't know what will. 2 minutes of the 4 has been played. We are halfway through additional time, and Pompey retaining the ball as best they can. Tom Naylor header on to Cannon. Curtis will actually come back from his position to come and claim it. Harvey White, with a swipe at the ball, gives it away there to Bristol Rovers, who will look to come forward positively. It's a heavy touch, and James Bolton just gives it directly back to the Pirates, which is not what we want to see. And they bring it forward now. This is, I believe it's going to be Rasmus who gets close to it, and Bristol Rovers play it across their bows again. I'm going to stop now because it's getting ridiculous. Jack Baldwin tries to look over the top. Pompey are just sort of clenching their buttocks as they watch this one, and Marquis finds himself deep inside our own territory. It's a push, and luckily for Pompey, the referee blows up for a free kick. It was a free kick. It was a foul. Marquis was looking for it nonetheless. His white boots almost as white as his shorts this afternoon, Marquis. By hook or crook will win this game. Thanks for that, Henry. That's the best one I've seen this afternoon. Mark McNulty was superb, Layla. I remember him. He scored the opening goal of our first leg against Plymouth back in the League 2 playoffs. That good old days, looking back with fond memories. I looked about 7 on the channel back then, and the reason for that is because I was. Craig McGilvery has taken a goal kick, and I believe that I can confirm it is full time. Relax, breathe. Pompey have beaten Bristol Rovers. Crucially, they have relegated Bristol Rovers this afternoon. It is official. The full-time whistle has gone. That is what we needed. Barton goes and shakes Danny Cowley's hand. Pompey well and truly done the job on the Pirates this afternoon. Nick the treasure of them, of the privilege of playing League 1 football. They will be playing League 2 football next season. Will Pompey be playing Championship football? Is this the kick up the backside we need in order to go on? 1 down, a few to go, says Traditional Signs of London. Not over yet for Pompey. Let's rejoin Richard, who joins us live here on Fournilwrittenalloverit. Hello to you, mate, and thank you for being back with us.
Sorry,
and breathe, relax.
Well, it was a hard. Well, it was a hard second half to watch, wasn't it? You know, we are still a one-half team, aren't we? You know, they made the changes, which yes, you know, you could see that they were required, and say having White on instead of Close made a huge difference, doesn't it? But I think if we were on performance-related pay, I'm sorry, Marquis would not get anything today. He just didn't look interested. He just fell over, you know, the slightest little touch, always looking for a free kick. And it was just disappointing to watch, you know. And I think if we had somebody in his place, to obviously tie alongside with Curtis, I think, you know, we'd have done a lot better. But yeah, difficult second half. I say they wanted to push and push and push, weren't they? You know, and we just ended up drifting further, you know, closer to our goal. So, but yeah, skin of our teeth, but not convincing. Definitely not convincing.
I was literally just about to say to you that it was not convincing, but it's a big 3 points, Gaz, that we will take any day of the week, albeit not a convincing performance.
Yeah, that's it. You know, 1-0. You know, you'll take them, even if it's ugly. You know, win. It doesn't matter how you win, it's the 3 points. And the good thing is now we can sit back and relax now and know that the job's done, and we can look at the other results. Because obviously now the boys can obviously, you know, relax now till, you know, obviously they won't relax too much, but obviously another big game the cup final basically on Tuesday. You know, that's one down. You know, we said that like 6 games ago, then 5 games ago, 4 games, but we are literally walking a very fine tight line, aren't we now? You know, if we were to get into the playoffs, you know, it wasn't a great watch, you know, but you know, some things didn't have to be pretty, does it? You know.
Yeah, and I think we watched going back to the Doncaster game, wasn't it? You know, it was the pivotal game, you know, of the season. Well, it's ironic that every game since that game has been the pivotal. You know, it's you know, on the edge of the seat, don't we? Every week in, week out at the moment.
Yeah, and just to build on what Gaz was saying there, Richard, but we're sat here right now, we're thinking brilliant 3 points. Is it a case? This is rather negative of me, but it's for me, sitting there watching that, I was hoping that we would absolutely batter this lot and really put them to the sword. We haven't done that. They've now been relegated to League Two. That didn't fill me. That performance in particular didn't fill me with the confidence that we need going into the playoffs. Hopefully, the next 3 games will prove that we can get back to winning ways and head into the playoffs in a positive respect. How do you see it right now? Is it a confidence boost or just a case of a win against a poor side?
A win against a poor side, which actually didn't look that poor, did they, in the second half? You know, they were into press, you know, they pressed the start of the first half. And
Richard, I'm really sorry. We have lost you ever so slightly there.
Looks like he's next door, man.
Yeah, I think, I don't know where he is, but his connection's not brilliant. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to leave Richard just for the time. Oh, he might be back. Are you back, sir? No, he's not.
Bless him.
We'll come back to him in just a moment's time. Gaz, what we'll do is we'll bring Adam into the conversation. We'll speak to Sean and Brendan and Mike in just a few moments as well, and we'll get Richard back involved in a moment. Your immediate reaction to that, Poirier, and what you made of particularly the second period?
Yeah, on the first look, it's a clean sheet and we scored. So it's definitely a start from somewhere. I don't think Marquis was good enough, and I think he knows that he wasn't good enough, but it is nice to see all the players around him really putting in the shift today. And I'm quite happy with how the defence turned out as well. Immediate reaction.
Are you? I'll ask the same question that we almost got an answer off Richard of. We didn't quite hear what he had to say. We got bits of it, but I said to him that, is it a case of, does that provide you with confidence, or is it a paper over the cracks in terms of we've just beaten a really poor side that we have just relegated to League Two, to bear in mind?
They didn't seem like they really wanted it, did they? Ever? It didn't seem like they were fighting for relegation, or they were still a good team, but they didn't have that spirit of a Joey Barton team that were really, like, I think they were saying that there was no yellow cards given, there was no real aggression there, and no passion really from their team. So on the surface, maybe I would say that they maybe weren't that good today, and they were obviously a bottom half team. The next couple of games are going to be still tricky, but that could have been our easiest one out of all of them. And we've only scraped a 1-0 and we haven't taken our chances. So on that sense, maybe we could have done a lot better, but I still think it's a good result nonetheless.
Gaz, Cyber Jeff has said, sorry, we were rubbish, and on present performance, we won't make the playoffs. Do you think we'll make the playoffs at this moment in time, having seen what you've just witnessed?
Well, what I witnessed today was at least we can see progress from some players. Some individual players there stepped up today. Do you know what I mean? And you can only play a team that's in front of you, you know? And obviously Cowley changed, you know, made some substitutions. But at the end of the day, you know, we were looking at like past games. No one really put a shift in, did they really? It wasn't like no man, some games wasn't even man of the match. But at least today, there was a bit more fight, you know? So that for me is positive. And it doesn't matter if you win 1-0. You can win 10-0. A win's a win. It's 3 points. You can't get any more, you know? So they've got confidence now going into training. And now we've got a double header, obviously, with a game in between, Accrington Stanley. So it's just another cup final. So for me, job done today. Sit back, relax. You know, they'll watch the match. Obviously, it wasn't great. you know what I mean? But it's a win, you know. There's 3 games left of the season. So we're either going to be rebuilding for the Championship or rebuilding for League One, you know. So that's it, really.
I think Gaz has hit the nail on the head there, Adam, don't you?
Yeah, I was going to say a lot of personal positives from the players. The defence will be boosted by a clean sheet as well. I think Ronan and Byers linked up really nicely. And also maybe overlooked, Harvey White's passes were spot on today when he came on. I mean, that long range one, but I don't think he put a foot wrong from when he came on. So there's a lot of personal positives, but I think the overall result, is still a good result. But I think the players will feel like they could have done better with their finishes.
Gentlemen, I'll let you go and enjoy the sunshine. Thank you very much for being with me. And I appreciate you joining us and your positivity as well. We'll speak to you on Tuesday night. Have a good one until then.
See you, Adam. Take care.
See you later.
This is what's still to come here on Fournilwrittenalloverit. Gaz was just mentioning it there, but it's a double header for Accrington Stanley. We get things going from 6 p.m. on Tuesday night for a 7 o'clock kickoff, and then the final Saturday of the season. AFC Wimbledon are the hosts. Pompey are the visitors. 1st of May is the date. 2 o'clock is the time. There we go. Sunday, the 9th of May, is the final game of the season. Our Super Sunday live here on Fournilwrittenalloverit from Fratton Park. It's the second part of that double header against Accrington Stanley. Join us for all the build-up from 10:30. We're going to crown a player of the season. We'll look back and have a think about some of our favourite moments here on Fournilwrittenalloverit. Look at that. What a way to enjoy the sunshine. We'll come to you both first, if I may. Mike, that was unconvincing as the gents and as people in the comments have been saying, but do you agree with Gaz? Win's a win, and however way it comes, we've got to take the 3 points, move on and look at the positives.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Gaz is right. We'd all think exactly the same. 3 points is a must, and it was, and we got them. We need to pick up the good bits from today. There were still some sloppy bits that weren't particularly good, but the spirit of the team must be buoyed now by what they've done today, and got those points, and they must hopefully be thinking, yeah, we can still do it. But I don't think we're going to make it. I mean, I'm still looking forward to those 2 packets off you guys, and hopefully we will get forward. I want to see us win these last 3 games, definitely, and if it's enough to get us in there, I'll be more than happy to buy your dad a pint as well as a packet of Jammy Dodgers.
There we go. Awesome stuff. Brendan, how did you see particularly the second half this afternoon? And did that fill you with any confidence going into the playoffs in a couple of weeks, hopefully?
Yeah, I'd say so. I don't think it was as bad as some people have made it out to be, you know, because I think as we've noticed online and through the sort of the Pompey online community, there's a lot of negativity in there. You know, I saw somebody today on the pages slagging off Nicolaisen, and I was like, he was one of our best players. Personally, that Rasmus Nicolaisen was quality today, absolutely. And what I especially liked was Johnson and Bolton both playing the right hand side together. I know it was only for a short period of time, but I think they linked up really well. Johnson sort of slightly ahead of Bolton and sort of overlapping each other, and the little triangles they did with it was Cannon they're doing the little triangles with, and it worked really well.
I think the Cowleys must have heard Sean, me, and you talking about doing that at half time, because it needed it, and it looked really good when it came about. I just hope we get a chance to see that again in another game.
It was just a shame that again we put the ball on a plate for Marquis again, and he just fluffs his lines again. Ronan.
Oh, look at that ball! What a
that little flick from the ball over the top, and then Ronan squared it to him. It was like Pittman and Otterbour all over again, you know. But just you'd wish he'd put it in, you know. It just shows that he's lacking confidence. It really does, and that's his chance to build his confidence when you put it on a plate for him.
How's the saying go? Cancelled with mutual consent. Is that what they call when they somebody's contract up early?
Yeah, and as I said at half time, you can take the donkey to water, but you can't make him drink.
Very true. Very true. Let's bring Richard into the conversation as well, so he can join us. Brendan, if you could do me a favour, would you mind putting your phone landscape rather than portrait? Is that all right? And then And then there we go. Hello, everybody. Now we're all on the screen. Sean, we'll come to you first, as you've been patiently waiting. And Richard, sorry that we had to leave you, but we you turned into a Dalek momentarily, but we've got you now, which is good. Sean, I was going to come to you and ask that. Obviously, it's not convincing, and building on what the gents underneath you were saying there, it's important to remember that it's a win. Obviously, there's still work to do. Currently, Hull City, if things stay like this against Lincoln City, I believe they've gone a goal ahead, and with a win, correct me if I'm wrong, gents, but Hull City will confirm Championship football this afternoon, which is, it's got to be, they want to win that one, and Lincoln City are currently one of the teams that Pompey are chasing to claim a playoff spot. How did you see it this afternoon?
I thought it was a positive performance. We stopped the slide. I think I echo Brendan and Mike's comments about Johnson and Bolton on the right side is awesome. I think I would have taken Marquis off and left Harness up front for a bit. I'd love to see young Alfie come on, but it's all positives. There's positives throughout the pitch, I think, other than Marquis. But we know he's low in confidence. So going forward into the next 3 games, it's positive. I'd just like to see some more goals.
Richard, how did you you were just about, do you want to carry on with what you were saying before we had to leave you?
Yeah, I was doing stuff in the caravan as well, ready for our holiday for next week, and I thought it'd be smart doing it in there, but signal's poor. But I mentioned about performance-related pay with regards to Marquis. It's he certainly didn't show anything to get a pay chip for this week. And you can see the way he's running around. He's still got that issue with the ankle. I think it's still bugging him, even though he's had an injection. But I think it's what happens there after the injection, what long-term damage that he's doing to it, But we just need somebody in his place, don't we? As I was just mentioning, then having Harness to go up front. He would have been a lot more effective than what Marquis has done. And certainly, we know when we've seen the balls go into him, he hasn't, actually shown any commitment, has he, to try and win the ball, so it's so it's a disappointing second half. I say going to Accrington, on that pitch, it could be very interesting, isn't it? And but as Gaz said, a win's a win. We chip away, and we just hope that Charlton gets stuff today, and we watch it. We stay in 6th, and hope that we can continue, on Tuesday.
And it's Peterborough United that Charlton play today, Mike, as Richard was just saying. They'll be wanting to go even further with their hopes for automatic promotion. And I believe they might almost be able to seal an automatic promotion space, or at least get closer to it. With Charlton behind us, as Richard was mentioning, they've got a game in hand over us still. Oxford, we've played a game less, so we can almost discount them, but obviously you've got to win those games in hand, etc., etc. Where do you see it right now for Pompey? As we nestle currently in 6th, or are you thinking, let's have a look when all's said and done, and we can really take a look at the table later on?
Yeah, well, I think you've got to wait until see what's happened in today's games. We've had a mixture of results over the last sort of 5-6 games where people have beaten people. Teams have beaten other teams that we expected them to win, but they've not necessarily done it.
It is 1-0 Peterborough. So your wishes are command, Richard. There you go.
Yeah, I mean he's right. Peterborough should do them, and hopefully they will. We've only got ourselves to blame if we don't make the playoffs. You know that. We all know that. We've had a poor run since Christmas. We should never rely on another team for their bad results or good results. It's down to us as a team. We've had a change of managerial staff in the last 8 games ago or whatever it was. We need to continue this good run now for the rest of the season. If we're there, we're there. If we're not, we're not. I don't think we'll make it, but I'll be very, very pleased and we'll celebrate if we do.
Brendan, do you think we'll make it, or do you agree with your father? Do you think we'll miss out just slightly?
I tell you what, I'm not going to be a politician. I'm going to sit on the fence. Because you can't tell, literally, because it is all down to, because we go into it, we won those 4 games in a row, and then we fell off a little bit, and now after today's win, You know, are we going to get back on the horse and going to start progressing and cement ourselves in the playoff positions? As you said, at the moment we're in the playoffs, you know, but it's all down to us.
But it's the game difference that is the matter. It would be only one game, but that one game could be the 3 points that sinks us or swims us.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, take it to Stanley, last game of the season at Fram Park, and ask me at full time. Then I'll tell you if we're in the playoffs or not. That's what I say.
Sean, is it a sink or? Oh, sorry, Richard. Go on.
No, I was going to say that's. Oh,
go again.
Go for it.
That was your Milton Keynes or your Swindon result, that is.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because
just to get one of them as a result, that would have made all the difference for us for the next
I'd be a lot happier, Richard. I'm with you. I'd have been a lot happier, and I'd have quite welcomely handed over the packet of biscuits. But it didn't happen. We should have had those 2 results, and we never did.
Yeah. Sean said it as well. Sean said, "Ask me by Swindon, and I'll tell you what we're standing like." You know. And that's what we've got to go by now. But on Tuesday night, Stanley away, dodgy pitch as always. Hopefully it's not called off again. But what a long pitch. Weather's turning apparently up north. So you can confirm that, can't you, Rich? Weather turning up north, isn't it?
That's why I'm coming south.
Sean, are you a sinker or a swimmer right now?
Depends on team selection at Accrington. If we play Marcus up front, we're playing with 10 men and we won't get a result. So I think that's it. I think we need to be having 11 committed players in the pitch. We can't carry anyone for these last 3 games.
I thought actually that we'd made too many subs again towards the end, but actually it actually worked in our favour this time. Yeah, they undid us last time. The Cowleys did more than 4 subs, but this time I think, even though we weren't brilliant in the second half, it held together in defence. I couldn't call a man of the match though out of today. It's very hard between 3 or 4 players.
Yeah, I personally, it's between probably Nicolais and Curtis Raggett.
Raggett's clearances as well.
Yeah, Curtis and Byers.
And even Johnson playing in 2 positions and doing quite well.
Yeah.
It was a better team performance as a whole, and I think White came in pretty well in the midfield. Because they took Harness off, so therefore we weren't. And I think Johnson and Bolton a bit more about them. So I found that actually normally White's a bit lightweight, but he was fine today because I think the substitutions worked in his favour.
Richard, would you see this one going down right, as Brendan and Mike were saying, right down to the wire, right down to that final match against Accrington? And we're all sat there, game's kicking off at 12, so what will that be? 2:30-ish, as all the games are kicking off at the same time in League One, and thinking the games around us decide our fate. We're either going to be in the playoffs with a couple of goals to spare, or we're going to miss out by a very fine margin.
It's going to definitely go all the way to the last minute, isn't it? Definitely. And I say it's in our hands. All we got to do is just keep on chipping away. I say if we lose points on Tuesday, that's it. We look at next season. We build, we get new players in. If we win, if we get another result like what we did today, when it was, a lackluster 1-0, well, say good in first half, not very good second half. As a Pompey fan, we take it again and move on to the next game. And it's just like, it's just, we just want that. Something that we saw within the first 4 games, that wow factor is like, wow, this is Pompey. They're playing absolutely fantastic football. What looked like championship, what you see a championship team doing, as in attacking football. But it's just going to go literally all the way. And it's something that we wouldn't have said with 16 games to go the way we were playing. Obviously we needed to get rid of anyway, but it's just something, Christmas time, top of the table, we could be sat there where Hull are now, aren't they? They ran away, they got pulled back, and then they're running away again. So, see, if we don't get it, it'll be seen as a missed opportunity, definitely.
Just quickly, gents, we'll go around the table on this, but Gaz has just put in the comments. I've seen it on our live chat here as well, that Sunderland are 2-0 up with 15 minutes played at the Stadium of Light. Sean, that's going to be a challenge if we end up facing them as they lead the way in the playoffs, and we perhaps might occupy that 6th position. Who would you rather play right now? And are you confident should that playoff spot be Pompey's on the final day at 2:30?
I don't fancy any of the teams in the playoffs with us. I think the fact we don't score enough goals and these teams seem to be free flowing with goals, I'd be really worried about playing any of them. Think is it Lincoln's still in there? So I think maybe out of all of them.
I suppose Lincoln's probably your best shout, isn't it? Just so sorry, realised I throw that one out there. And so at the moment, Sunderland, Lincoln, Blackpool, and ourselves. I mean, there's ample opportunity for Oxford to maybe sneak in there. I mean, they're still 0-0 with Plymouth as it stands, and they're 2 points behind us with a game played more than us. And Charlton with 2 games to spare over Oxford, 1 over ourselves with 66 points. So it could be all change, Richard. I wonder who you'd prefer to play as it stands right now if we were to play in the playoffs.
I would say, I was thinking Blackpool, looking at the table now, but they're very strong. Sunderland, I think it could be very embarrassing the way they're playing and the way they played when they came down. It could be just an annihilation, and I'd rather us not get into the playoffs to save ourselves from that. Which could be 2 strong defeats. But Lincoln City, I think we could possibly stand a chance against Lincoln. So we've done it. We've gone up against them. We played well. Lincoln for me.
And just finally, Brendan and Mike, either way, even if we have Lincoln, as the 2 gentlemen have said, we probably, is a very good chance we play Sunderland at Wembley, isn't there? Which doesn't sound at all appealing.
No, not at all. It's hard to say because Sunderland seems to be like, I don't know, a bit like the banter club, really, because everyone likes to laugh at them because of their Netflix series and, the way that they start down the league is a bit similar to the way we did, really. But obviously, we were a bit more dramatic than them. We went to League 2 and they didn't. But I don't know. It's the time that I think it's the time that we want to get out of the league, really. But if you look at it, they'll get out of the league. Peterborough and Hull, they seem like the 3 this season deserving to go up, really, because they've been fairly consistent throughout the year. Where we've been like this all the way through the year. Been up and down, and God knows what Pompey's gone through. But I think the team's coming down next year. It's going to be a struggle with them if they get relegated next year. But we get Rooney at Fratton Park again. I haven't seen him since 2010.
I think if you'd have asked me that question at Christmas or just after Christmas before the New Year, I would have said bring them all on. I don't want any of them now. I don't want any of them. It won't do our morale, enthusiasm. I don't know. I don't think we want to play any of them particularly. I think this is, out of the 3 seasons, I'd say we're in a worse position at this season than we are from the other 2 ones in the playoffs. I think we've got a lot of work, and the Cowleys will see that there is a lot. They know it. They've got a lot of work to be able to get us into a standard to even think about staying in the Championship. I think we're nowhere near what we need to be.
We get into the playoffs. Does that mean that it ties in with getting fans back into the ground? Now that could make a massive difference.
This numbers though, Richard, isn't it? It depends. You might be able to get used to, but when we had was it 2 games with fans inside the ground? It really
sounded like 17.
What it is. Well, it made a bit of difference, but not rocking Fratton Park. I mean, that's what we needed this season with the team that we've got. If we were rocking, we'd be good.
Yeah, but anything can happen at Wembley.
Oh yeah, it can be. If you get a full Wembley though, Sean, it's not a case we're gonna have 86,000 if we play Sunderland again, is it though?
No.
It's not
2,000 each, wasn't it?
It has been the catalyst to the season, hasn't it? And it's perhaps where a lot, not the blame lies, but a lot of the sort of what we can look to as a reason behind the perhaps below par performances is that Fratton faithful to spur the boys on. And I'll try and answer your question as best I can, Richard, but I believe our playoff game would either be the 18th or 19th of May and then the 22nd or 23rd or something along those lines, which would just put us just in front of the planned phased return to football. So we'll have to wait and see for more detail on that. But there would be at least a few Pompey fans to be there, and I'm not going to disagree with Mike, but I will just say we were lucky enough to be there for both the games. It sounded like Fratton Park was 3/4 full on both occasions, which obviously it's even half full Fratton Park belittles any League One side apart from Sunderland, doesn't it? So you sort of sat there thinking, well, if at least we can have a proportion at the home leg. Obviously, I would expect no away fans in the second or whichever way round it goes. And then Wembley, as Sean's quite rightly said, I mean, anything can happen there. And even if we had a sort of a bit of that, and obviously there's a lot more space in Wembley, isn't there? So we could even perhaps have a bit more of a larger scale. But, you know, anything can happen. And with a few fans, I don't know what might happen, perhaps. I realise that's not a question directed towards anyone, but if anyone wanted to build on that, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, I said, similar to yourself, Tom, I was at the Peterborough game earlier on in the season, and you know, winning that game 2-0, Fratton Park rocking as such, you know, but we made a lot of noise, and you know, and it made a difference. It really did. That game, you saw the way the players were playing, and they really responded to us. You know, it was a momentous day in many ways for the fans. You think about it, it's a return to football. We're playing Peterborough, so it's one of our rivals really in the league. You know, it's the memorial of Papa Bouba Diop passing as well, which, you know, stuck in me a little bit because I was a big fan of the Bridge when he was at Pompey, and I was a big fan of him, and I think that added a bit more, you know, a bit more, I don't know, a bit more magic, a bit more spark to the fans.
I think that's why the Iceland support into Pompey, because of the magic that Fratton Park does create. There is, I don't think there's another club like it. The old girl used to be right close to them. I used to do my other job at that place, and but they never made an atmosphere like we do at Fratton Park, and I don't know any other team that could ever do what we do at Fratton Park. Thierry Henry said it, Mourinho said it,
even Fergie said it.
Yeah, even Fergie said it in the past. But yeah, we do need the fans, and it's been a big difference this season, and maybe that is the reason between the other two playoff seasons.
Yeah, because I don't think other teams have that. I don't know about other teams. You know, we don't know how Accrington Stanley have their bond with their fans. Now, I know it's a smaller ground and stuff, but I think that I think every club will say they've got a special connection with their fans and their club. You know, but you know, in particular the Blues. You know, Pompey. It's been going on probably since Dad's been going to the ground, even not longer. Fratton Faithful has always been the staple of our club, really, isn't it? The fans have always been there, and always been there. They've always been the driving force behind the team. Last week, Dad mentioned the Stockport game where they sung for 90 minutes. There's only 8,000 in the ground.
Oh, that's a tremendous ground, a tremendous game, and will live with me forever, I'm sure.
Gents, thank you very much indeed. Richard, I'm counting down the days to the brownies. Brendan, Mike, enjoy the sunshine. Yep. Brownie-tastic. Sean, thank you for your company again. Cheers all round, and we'll see you all on Tuesday night. Thanks for your company, gents. Right, that's where we're going to leave it for you for now. Before we do so, let's take a look at what's still to come here on Fournilwritten all over it. So as you can see there, it's Tuesday evening will be Accrington Stanley, and AFC Wimbledon is the Saturday after. And we're looking forward to bringing you both of those. Wimbledon have just missed a penalty at Portman Road. I've just seen that one flash up on the box, so there we go. Following that, it's a Super Sunday at Fratton Park. We welcome Accrington back to our place, Sunday the 9th of May. We're going to be on from, I believe it's 10:30. Yes, it is. There you go. Midday is when the game kicks off, as they do around the grounds. We're looking forward to bringing you that one here live on Fournilwritten all over it. That went a bit wrong, didn't it? I'm still here. Thanks, Kit. Thank you to Daniel. Good morning, good win. Thank you very much indeed to everyone who's joined us live here on Fournilwritten all over it. Right, that is definitely where we're going to leave you. It's been a long old afternoon, hasn't it? Thanks for watching. Keep the faith. Enjoy the rest of this beautiful sunshine out there. We'll see you on Tuesday night. Play at Pompey. And bye from us for now.